It is quite quiet, isn't it, without the effects. We're not dialed up to the web feed yet. You're okay.
If I turn mine on, it makes no difference.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Lovely view from up here. Ooh. End each or fives? It's up to you. It's your
And each is fine.
end each.
Oh. Ah. Hello, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Guildford Cricket Club for the Kia Super League fixture between the Surrey Stars and Lancashire Thunder. A warm welcome from Scott Reed and Mark Church on the roof of the pavilion. Good afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon, Scott. Welcome to the... Well, you've not been to Guildford since the new pavilion was built, so it's the first time you've been on the roof, looking down over the ground. Magnificent view, and thankfully the weather is okay because we're outside al fresco, so it's dry, it's cloudy, but we're all set for game two.
Yeah, the competition underway on Tuesday. Lancashire starting actually the competition, the first match of the 2019 Kia Super League. Lancashire Thunder losing their game at Egbert in Liverpool against the Southern Vipers. That was one of 3 games on Tuesday to start this year's competition. The final game of that trio on Tuesday involved the Surrey Stars, who played at Headingley against the Yorkshire Diamonds.
They did, and they got off to a winning start as well. And I think they were happy with basically the way they bowled. I think they'd have been slightly disappointed with the way they batted on what was a really good wicket, posting 130 for 9. Sarah Taylor's top scoring with 43, but then to defend that and bowl Yorkshire out for 121 was a really good effort, and getting rid of Elisa Healy early. She still made 31, but to get rid of Healy early was the key. So obviously defending champions, the Surrey Stars, and off to a winning start.
Yeah, obviously a fantastic campaign for the Stars last season, and it is, when you look through that team, I mean, aside from the England internationals, which kind of stand out from the team sheet, it's a team full of very good cricketers, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's that great cliche of a mixture of youth and experience, really. And you've got the experience in there: Sarah Taylor, Nat Siver, Lizelle Lee, who of course made that magnificent 100 in the final last year, and then Cap and Van Niekerk. But I tell you who bowled really well again the other night was Maddie Villiers, and Maddie Villiers made her England T20 debut in that last Ashes game and picked up Elisa Healy as her first T20 international wicket, and did the same against the Diamonds, picked up Healy and bowled really nicely, and Laura Marsh as well, all that experience. So they on paper they look a really good side, and they've made one change today, Amy Gordon coming in for Grace Gibbs, but I think, as I say, they'd have been pleased with the way they went with the ball up at Headingley on Tuesday night. I think what they'd like to improve today is with the bat, and I think it's that, again, it's another old cliche that you hear throughout cricket, but if you get a start, go on and make it a big score.
The Thunder are unchanged from that defeat against the Southern Vipers. So they have Georgie Boyce, and then Sune Luce, Tala McGrath, Harmutpreet Kaur, Sophia Dunkley, who swapped sides because she was with the Stars, now a member of the Thunder team, Eve Jones, Sophia Eccleston, Ellie Threlkeld, Emma Lamb, Kate Cross is the captain of the Thunder, and Alex Hartley. So they've gone with the same 11 that lost to the Vipers. And as you mentioned, Church is the one change for the Stars.
Yeah, and I think as well from a Surrey Stars point of view, they're a pretty settled side, actually. You know, there's a lot there that played in last year's competition, and I think what they were looking to do this year was get off to a winning start, because of course last year they got off to a terrible start in the competition, but then timed their run into absolute perfection. Now, I was with Daniel Norcross at Headingley on Tuesday night, and we were both saying we don't think that was a tactic. We don't think they sat down and said start badly and then get really good by the end of it. So I think that they'd have been very, very pleased to get a win under their belts first up. But as I say, weather today here at Guildford's very good. Good crowd in already. Just to explain to listeners there in Lancashire, we're on the roof of the pavilion, and then we've got Dap Dune Wharf to our left, which is, as it says, it's a little wharf.
Oh, lovely.
It's a National Trust wharf that you can go and have a wander along. Some balls tend to end up in the wharf.
Yes.
And then the railway end, and there's the members stand down there at the railway end. The reason it's called the railway end is there's a bridge, and that's where the trains go
that'll be the reason.
into and out of Guildford Station.
Very good.
And then the Woodbridge Road away there to our right-hand side. But you and I met at the station this morning, and it's probably a 10-minute walk here from the station, and there's a good number in already, so I think there's going to be a good crowd in today. And very much looking forward to this, because of course last year Thunder played the Stars at the Kia Oval.
That's right.
Didn't they?
Yeah. It was a good game. Harmutpreet Kaur, I remember, I think, hitting the winning runs at the end. I think she hit a 6 to win the game, actually, for the Thunder, who had a much improved 2018 campaign. The first 2 years of the competition was a bit of a struggle, really. I mean, the first 2 seasons it was reduced to, it was started with a 5-group game, didn't it? And it's been extended to 10 since. But the first 2 years, Lancashire Thunder winning just 1 game across those 2 years. Didn't win at all in the 5-group games in 2017. 1 victory in 2016. But last year they won half of their group matches. 5 wins from the 10 games. So it's an improvement for the Thunder. You're under a new captain, Kate Cross, and she's understandably very excited about the prospect of leading out her home county. A little nervous ahead of that first game on Tuesday. It's the first time she's actually ever captained a team. So she's kind of finding her feet as skipper. But I agree with you, Mark. I think I was at Egbert on Tuesday for that game, and I know that you're watching the Stars at Headingley. And I think it's great for the players to play some of the games at the bigger test venues, whether it's at the Oval, whether it's at Old Trafford, whether it's at Headingley. I also think as well it's quite nice for the competition to come to venues like this. I think Lancashire's general manager, who's Bobby Cross, Kate's brother, was saying that he's quite a fan of these Super League games being at the out grounds, because It just feels a little bit more intimate, doesn't it? It's just a little bit more accessible than being in a big venue, and I think they work out quite nicely.
And I think as well, it's good for the crowd and the kids that are here, because they're very, very close to the action as well, and they can see the players and get closer to the players and get their autographs, which is all part of it. So yeah, it should be a good game. These pitches here are normally very, very good for batting as well at Guildford.
So the Stars have won the toss, and they're going to have a ball first. Maddie Villiers, I think, to open up the bowling from the River End, with Georgie Boyce on strike for the Lancashire Thunder. Boyce batted very nicely in the end in a run chase that they fell 34 runs away from victory on Tuesday, but she started and batted well at the top of the order for the Thunder. So she's about to face the first delivery as Villiers comes in to Boyce, but down the leg side, and that's taken by Sarah Taylor. So the game starts off with a wide, and the Thunder have their first run on the board. One without loss here at a breezy Guildford, as Churchy mentioned. Villiers in a little bit flatter, touch quicker to Boyce, who's just working the ball off the back foot behind square on the leg side and gets through for the first run off the bat. And she moves to 1, and the Thunder are 2 without loss.
Yes, I've been up on this roof for a couple of years now, and we have christened it HMS Guildford. It's like being on the deck of the ship, and it can get windy up here.
Villiers bowling, and that's played defensively by Sune Lees, who's just pressing into the offside, no run. She's one of the 3 overseas signings that the Thunder have got. South African Sune Lees, and she's on strike with Taylor, the keeper, crouching down behind the stumps. Villiers bowls to her. The back foot, just trying to work it into the offside, but not a great deal of room to manoeuvre there for Sune Lees. Just pushing defensively to cover. It's fielded by Lizelle Lee, and there is no run. There's a deep square leg as Villiers bowls. This is swept, or at least the attempt to sweep. But ball just comes off the bottom edge and deflects into the onside. There's no runs. There's a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket, the 2 outside the 30-metre circle. And there's a short fine leg, mid-wicket, mid-on, mid-off, short extra cover and backward point. Villiers for the Surrey Stars bowls. Another attempt to sweep. Another question about LBW, but the umpire not interested. And it's a dot ball, the 1 ball left of the over, because we started with that wide. The Thunder are 2 without loss. And Maddie Villiers spins the ball from one hand to the other and twirls her way in and bowls to Sune Lees, who's connecting quite sweetly off the back foot and pulling that ball behind square leg for the first boundary of the game. That's the end of the first over, and the Lancashire Thunder, invited to bat first by the Surrey Stars, are 6 without loss.
Well, I think it'll be Marizanne Cap from the pavilion end. I'll be a bit disappointed with that final delivery, will Maddie Villiers, because her control up at Headingley was outstanding, but that was basically a long hop and dropped in and nicely put away by Lees for the first boundary. The disappointment there for Villiers will it was off the last ball of the over, so couldn't get out of the over, and it will be Marizanne Cap to get us started from the pavilion end of the ground. And Boyce will be on strike here on BBC Radio London, BBC Lancashire, and Surrey Stars winning the toss, deciding to have a bowl. We've had one over. Scott Reed and myself, Mark Church, stood on the roof at Guildford. It's warming up a bit. The sun's trying to get through the clouds at the moment.
I've got some factor 15.
No, I think I'm past the point of no return now.
Well,
Mr.
yes,
Reed.
I think you probably are.
I think I am. I think I'm only 21. I know I look about 62. But
you've broken the back on that, haven't you? Really?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Skinny's well acclimatised.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So it's going to be Marizanne Cap. 2 outside the circle will be... Now, hang on. Where are we with the 2 outside the circle? I'm trying to spot. There'll be a fine leg. And then...
I think that is it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you got and a third man. As this one's tucked away with an open face straight down to third man by Boyce, and they will pick up a single. So Marizanne Cap starting with the ball back of her length, and Boyce nicely played down to third man for a single, and that brings Lees back onto strike again.
I'm a big fan of the pot plants that we've got on the commentary balcony here. 3 magnificent looking pot plants.
There's a lovely barbecue as well as Cap is in to Lees. Oh, that swings. What a beauty that is. That swung in and then just nipped away from Lees, turned around completely. Cracking delivery from Marizanne Cap, and taken by Taylor away to her right-hand side. And well, Lees would have had a look at that and thought, oh, this could be a long afternoon. That did swing.
That's a good ball, that wasn't it? beating her all ends up.
Lovely piece of bowling. Got one slip in there. Marizanne Kapp wearing number 23, coming right arm over the wicket to Lees. And again, bowls her all ends up with one that swings and then keeps its line and hits the top of the off stump. It's a gorgeous piece of bowling from Marizanne Kapp. And Lees goes for 4. And not a lot she could have done about that. That's just a cracking delivery from Marizanne Kapp. Second over, and Lancashire Thunder 7 for 1.
Well, they're two superb deliveries. First up by Marizanne Kapp to Sune Lees. First one beating her with some movement through the air that just nipped away. And the second one, just as you mentioned, Mark, just held its line and clipped the top of off stump. I mean, they're just two fabulous deliveries. And I'm not sure there's a great deal that Sune Lees could have done about that. Marizanne Kapp just taps her on the back and says, you know, I got you out there, mate. I'm afraid there's I've got sympathy for you, but there's not a great deal you could do about that.
But funny enough, we said the previous delivery, could have thought to yourself, well, this is going to be a long afternoon. Turned out to be a short one because the next one was even better.
Yes, it was, yeah.
The top of the off stump, and not a lot that Lees could have done about that at all. So Talia McGrath is in for the Thunder early in this second over. Marizanne Kapp, wow, he's bowling beautifully. It's only 3 deliveries, but balls 2 and 3, absolute pearlers. So McGrath, right-hander, settling herself down for her first delivery. Still keeping one slip in their third man, and then the fine leg is the 2 outside the circle. Marizanne Kapp coming over the wicket to the right-handed McGrath, and that's down the leg side. That's well taken by Sarah Taylor. Wide will be the signal. Again, it's swing for Marizanne Kapp, but starting that one on a roundabout leg stump and just kept swinging down the leg side. And Lancashire Thunder 8 for 1 in this second over as a white van drives into all the space in the car park down there at the railway end of the ground. It's a massive car park. And as over the wicket comes Marizanne Kapp, and McGrath gets forward, pushing this one solidly straight back up the ground. And fielding done by Amy Gordon, stood at mid-on.
Yeah, it looks a lot different, the ground, from the last time I came here, which must be 5 or 6 years ago, perhaps, for a one-day game. But it's a really nice venue to watch cricket at.
It is, as Marizanne Kapp is in again to McGrath, swings another one, and McGrath's turned round completely and it beats the outside edge. Again, it's a lovely piece of bowling from Marizanne Kapp, just swinging it in and then holding its line. Super delivery. Yep, she's even indicating that to everybody now. 8 for 1, the Thunder.
Yes, an excellent piece of bowling, and again it's on a good length where you're not quite certain to play forward or play back, and beating her pretty comprehensively.
Comes in once again, Marizanne Kapp over the wicket, and shorter delivery. McGrath's in behind this, pushes it straight back up the pitch. There is no run. Cracking first over from Marizanne Kapp, and the Lancashire Thunder, after being stuck in by the Surrey Stars, are 8 for 1 after 2. We would have been sat at the back. They used to have, to the right of where we are now at the pavilion, a massive big temporary members stand.
That's right,
and we
yeah.
would have been sat up the back there.
We were.
Yes.
I remember that now. Yeah, I think we're on the back row. I think it rained. I seem to recall having to put the brolly up and shield under the brolly.
Yes, and bin liners became our friend when it rained.
They did. Yes.
But this pavilion's 2 years old now, so it's the second year of the pavilion. It's a very, very good structure.
It's a great venue for Surrey to have, both for the men's and the women's team, to be able to bring games here, and especially if the pitch is good as well. If the facilities are good, the pitch is good, plenty of parking space. As Nat Siver comes into the attack and starts with a wide down the leg side, which actually beats the gloves of Sarah Taylor. That's a rarity. And down towards the boundary for 4 wide. So a bit of a loosener first up by Nat Siver. The keeper, Taylor, standing right up to the stumps and just speared that down the leg side. And even with the outstanding glove work of Sarah Taylor, she couldn't get anything on that. It's gone down towards the boundary.
It swung. Swung down the leg side. Another outstanding keeper, John Batty, who former Surrey captain, now coaching the Surrey Stars, works very closely with Sarah Taylor.
One slip in place, Siver balls, good delivery to Georgie Boyce, and that beats her, and it's through to the keeper. No run.
I'll tell you what, your quicker bowlers here today could have a field day, because this is swinging. This could be quite hard work today, I think, just from the ball in the air as much as anything.
Well, Kate Cross at the at the toss. Siver comes in and bowls to Boyce. She gets forward and drives, but 2 extra cover, and there is no run. Said that again, it could be a little bit of kidology, but said that she wanted to have a bat first anyway. Yeah, but Siver comes in and bowls to Boyce. She gets forward and drives, but 2 extra cover, and there is no run. Said that again, it could be a little bit of kidology, but said that she wanted to have a bat first anyway. Yeah, I bet Kate Cross watching down below is thinking, crikey, this is doing a little bit here. He's doing plenty. 13 for 1. We're in the third. Boyce waits. Siver balls, fallen off stump, and that's a lovely shot. That's driven through extra cover, and that's 4 runs. That's found the gap between that ring of fielders on the offside. There's not a great deal of work to try and manoeuvre and thread that ball through, but Boyce did so emphatically through the covers for 4. Scott moves on to 17 for 1 in the third.
Yeah, lovely shot.
He's doing plenty. 13 for 1. We're in the third. Boyce waits. Siver balls, fallen off stump, and that's a lovely shot. That's driven through extra cover, and that's 4 runs. That's found the gap between that ring of fielders on the offside. There's not a great deal of work to try and manoeuvre and thread that ball through, but Boyce did so emphatically through the covers for 4.
Beautifully by Boyce. Just to say, you can watch the action as well through the Surrey website, www.kiaoval.com, and streaming the game live.
Siver to Boyce, who he's beaten. Ball into the gloves of Taylor, and there is no run.
The other thing is, it's normally a very quick outfield here as well, so Boyce really just leant on that, whistled away to that extra cover boundary rope.
On the back of, as I mentioned, of a decent knock in that run chase, an unsuccessful run chase on Tuesday. She got 40 odd. This is a little bit short and wide from Siver. Attempts to cut the ball, but actually a little extra bounce on this occasion. The plays underneath it and gathered by Taylor. Takes it to almost kind of shoulder height. Good bounce that time from Siver into the gloves of Taylor. It's a no run, 17 for 1. There's a long leg and a third man. It's mid-wicket and mid-on. That ring of fielders on the offside. That's chipped over mid-wicket by Boyce. Just straight into the pads did Nat Siver. And a batter in good form as Boyce here is coming into this fixture. Was able to work that off her pads up and over mid-wicket and out towards the boundary for 4 runs. So that's the end of the third over. And Georgie Boyce is unbeaten on 10. And Lancashire Thunder are 21 for 1.
Yeah, looks in form. Georgie Boyce 43 in that opening game, and looks like she's in nick. Lovely shot through the covers, just leant on it for 4, and then that whip over mid-wicket for 4 more. Scoreboard is away to our left-hand side. Lots of spectators sat in plastic chairs. The Sun's trying to break through. Marizanne Cap to bowl her second over, the 4th from the pavilion end. And McGrath on strike. Short delivery, and the tall figure of McGrath just turns this one into the leg side. Up comes Nat Siver to do the fielding, and there is no run. Behind us is it used to be the groundsman's cottage.
Oh.
And I was telling you before, a couple of years ago, while they were still building this, that was used by umpires Nick Cook and Rob Bailey.
Outstanding.
Yes. And I don't think they slept there, but they definitely used the facilities. As Cap is in, and McGrath turns this one leg side. Should get 2. Siver's getting after this. We'll get it inside the boundary rope. It's a fairly long carry out towards the leg side, and they'll pick up 2 more. Nicely tucked away by McGrath. Her first runs of the afternoon. She moves on to 2. Lancashire Thunder 23 for 1 in the 4th over, as the sun trying to break through the clouds at the moment, as Marizanne Cap is in and forward goes McGrath. Thickish edge, but all along the floor down towards third man, and they'll pick up a single. That will take McGrath on to 3 and move Lancashire Thunder on to 24 for 1.
McGrath batting at 3, as she did actually on Tuesday, but she played a warm-up match, I think 2 warm-up matches actually for the Thunder before the competition started, and she was batting I think 7 or 8. Quickly realised that this is a very, very good player and pushed her up the order.
Over the wicket comes Marizanne Cap. Short delivery, and Boyce is laid back to cut that thick inside edge past her leg stump. Got away with that. Did Georgie Boyce. Gets a single. More to the total. Moves on to 11. 25 for 1.
McGrath's been in the country for quite some time. She's been part of the Australia A team that's been working alongside the senior Australia team. So she's been in and around that successful Ashes winning side. So she's had a good month or so in the UK.
Over the wicket comes Marizanne Cap to her, and McGrath again just turns this nicely with a roll of the wrists out towards deep backward square. They'll get a couple more. 2 more to McGrath. Moves on to 5. Yeah, 28 in the opening game for Talia McGrath. Tall, wristy, elegant looking player. On to 5 she goes. 27 for 1 Lancashire Thunder. Some of the kids that are here having a bit of a run round the boundary rope. Some sat on the boundary rope, in fact, at the moment. As Marizanne Cap is over the wicket. That's right on a length to McGrath. Drives it back to Cap. Cap throws the ball down at the stumps, but McGrath was going nowhere there. End of the over. 4 gone. And 6 off that over. 27 for 1 Lancashire Thunder. So that early breakthrough for the Surrey Stars, and now Lancashire Thunder just having a bit of a rebuild. But there's plenty of space here at Woodbridge Road as well. As I say, down the far end, the railway end, is where, if it's sort of beer festival week, they have the marquees and everything there. So it's quite nice to be able to see all that space down there. But if you want to take a bat and a ball and have a game while you're here, that's the place to go, into the car park.
Yeah, you've plenty of room, that's for certain, on that far end of the ground. And yeah, as you say, it's good to see quite a decent number in. It's either brought their own chairs with them, or some plastic chairs that are stacked around the ground, and those little temporary stands which have been built as well. And some decent numbers in to watch this game. So 27 for 1, about to start over number 5. Georgie Boyce on strike, and Villiers comes back into the attack and bowls to Boyce, just guided down towards short third man for a single, and she moves up to 12, and the score moves on to 28 for 1.
Our first train of the day going along the tracks there.
Yes, very good.
That'll be a southwest train.
So my journey in from London today, I would have come across that very.
Yes, you would have come across that very bridge.
Didn't notice the cricket ground.
Although, yes, you do. No, you're going out the station there. Yeah, sorry.
Villiers in, and they stopped the back foot by McGrath, and that's pushed into the covers. No run.
The reason you wouldn't have noticed it is it's going the other way. So I always get muddled up with whether those trains are going in or out of the station.
Villiers for the Surrey Stars bowl. This is a bit quicker. McGrath goes back and pulls the ball out towards deep square leg. She's through for a single. Moves up to 6. The score now to 29 for 1. Brings Boyce back on strike. It's a very pleasant journey across from London today. It's half an hour or so on the
Yes, I
train
came
to
on the
Guildford.
train today as well.
Villiers pulls around the wicket. Boyce shuffling forward, defending. Push back to Villiers, and there's no run. With those 2 fielders on the leg side at deep mid-wicket and deep backward square leg into the 5th over, so we're still in the power play, so plenty inside that 30-metre circle. As Boyce goes big, she goes high, and she should be taken at mid-off. She is, and Villiers picks up the 2nd wicket of the game. Georgie Boyce skying one up to Bryony Smith, who's at mid-off. She takes the catch. And Boyce departs for 12. And the Lancashire Thunder in the 5th over have lost their 2nd wicket, 29 for 2.
Yeah, it's a good bowling change that from Nat Siver to get Villiers back into the attack, and a bit more air on that one. Just got it above the eye line, and Boyce looking for the big one, got it horribly wrong, and it just went straight up in the air. Easy catch really for Bryony Smith, and 29 for 2 in the 5th over the Lancashire Thunder.
Well, this is where I think Thunder will, and Captain Kate Cross, the coaching setup at Lancashire Thunder, will be hoping to see a kind of a sense of responsibility and sense of calm from their batting lineup. It's been a weak element of their team really since the competition started, and having lost a couple of early ones in the power play, they'll be hoping that some of the senior players here can just settle things down. They did cross, so McGrath's on strike. Villiers bowling to her, and it's a quicker ball which just pushes her back a fraction. She's forced to defend, which she does, back down the pitch, gathered by Villiers off her own bowling. Nice and tidy stuff. 5 overs gone. 29 for 2. That's Sophia Dunkley, the new batter, to join Talia McGrath. But good first 5 overs for the Surrey Stars in this power play.
Yeah, and they'll be pleased with this. Very controlled. And also the other thing is, with Georgie Boyce, a couple of lovely shots from Georgie Boyce, especially against the quicker bowlers. But I think there was looking to obviously go straight down the ground, but Villiers nicely bowled, just a bit more flight on it. Threw it far too early. Just went straight up in the air. So Marizanne Kapp's going to bowl her 3rd over. This is the final one of the power play. So McGrath will stand there at the non-striker's end, having a look at everything. But it's been a nice, tidy start this as well from Marizanne Kapp. Dunkley, right-hander, just taking a little look at the field, just waiting for everybody to settle down. The 2 outside the circle will be 3rd man and fine leg once again. As over the wicket comes Marizanne Kapp, and Dunkley lets the first one go, just swinging away a touch outside her off stump. Love a score here today with Dunkley, wouldn't she? Against her former teammates. Always adds a little bit to it. Bit of spice. Dunkley settles once again. Marizanne Kapp, it's a fairly short run, but she's so experienced. As over the wicket she comes, and Dunkley turns leg side. Quick singles taken to Nat Siver. Siver's quickly in, but they get through very safely. Dunkley's off the mark. And Lancashire Thunder moving on to 30 for 2 in the 6th over. All the Hannah Jones down there doing a bit of drinks waitering. Away to our right-hand side. Hannah came and joined us on the commentary at Headingley on Tuesday night, which was lovely. As over the wicket comes Marizanne Kapp to McGrath. That's short and cut by McGrath down towards 3rd man. Pick up a single. Cranston does the fielding. One more to McGrath. Might feel she's missed out a touch there, I think. Short and wide, and I think was looking to go over backward point, but actually went off down towards 3rd man. Pick up another single. Moves on to 7. 31 for 2. Dunkley ready once more as Marizanne Kapp runs away from us, and back of a length, turned leg side, and they'll pick up another single as Nat Siver comes sprinting in. Good running.
Yes, it is. Excellent by Dunkley, backed up by McGrath. Running was good there. Alert to it. It'll touch off the pads and scamper through for 1.
The Woodbridge Road Cafe would have been popular today.
Ah, is that the one that we were thinking of going to?
We were, but we had
Yes.
a couple of technicals,
Mm.
which we got sorted. Thank you to Alex, the IT man, for doing that for us. As over the wicket comes Marizanne Kapp forward, goes McGrath, pushes this one out towards the edge of the circle at cover, and there's no run. It's famous, the Woodbridge Road Cafe, for the fact it has one of these sort of challenge meals.
Okay.
The mega breakfast
Right.
and the burger, I think it is. And if you eat it in a certain amount of time, you get your money back in a T-shirt. As over the wicket comes Kapp, and McGrath turns this one. Leg side will pick up a single. 1 more to the total as Amy Gordon comes round to do the fielding. End of the over, 6 gone. That's the end of the power play. And after 6, the Lancashire Thunder, 32 for 2.
So you get a T-shirt and a certificate, but you get indigestion for a week.
You do. You get stretched out. They also have photos of people who've taken it on and succeeded as well on the wall. It looks horrendous, I have to say. I think I'm right in saying something like a 10-egg omelette for the breakfast.
What?
Yes, and like 6 sausages.
Goodness.
Yes,
Right.
but it's famous for it. It's just on the corner there of the Woodbridge Road Cafe.
So that is a hearty breakfast, isn't it? That is a
Well, it set you up for the rest of the day.
set you up for the rest of the week.
Exactly.
I think.
I think a few people have taken it on over the years here. Whether they've succeeded or not, I don't know.
You're not fancied it yourself, Churchy?
No, I haven't.
Sensible move.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wise move. Van Niekerk comes into the attack for the first time from the railway end, and she's bowling over the wicket and tossing one up and bringing McGrath forward. Doesn't quite time it, just driving up to mid-off, and there's no run. Even though we are out of that power play, that sense of kind of pressure been exerted here by the Stars, because still just the two outside the 30-metre circle. Van Niekerk to McGrath. Good stride down the pitch. She's tall, is McGrath. It's a good front foot down the pitch, pushing defensively to extra cover. There's no run. So just that deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg, and now actually they have just pushed out to mid-off. Drop back towards the long off boundary. So 3 outside the circle now. Van Niekerk in. A little flatter, cut by McGrath, but fielded neatly at point. And there's no run, so a decent start by Van Niekerk.
Hugely experienced. Just looking at her stats, 128 international wickets in one-day internationals.
Slowly drifts in, bowls. McGrath the back foot, forcing through the offside. And actually deep point had been pushed back as well. He's up from the boundary rope to field, and McGrath does get a single, but that took some getting that. It's tight stuff by Van Niekerk. Not too many scoring options there for McGrath. Eventually gets one away through extra cover and bringing up deep point to complete the fielding. Sophia Dunkley back on strike, looking leg side. It is the shorter of the two boundaries. Van Niekerk in to Dunkley. Big appeal for LBW, and she's gone. End of a very tidy over this by Van Niekerk. Just the one off it and the wicket as well. With Sophia Dunkley up against her former side, but unable to make a big impression on her return to Guildford. She's gone. Trapped LBW off the bowling of Van Niekerk, and the Thunder have lost their third in the 7th, 34 for 3.
It's a nice bit of bowling that from Van Niekerk. Looked out here, and we're miles away from the middle, but Sophia Dunkley jumped onto the back foot and then was looking to work against the spin. I wonder if it's the one that just went on. It might have even been the other one, but it looked out and the finger went straight up, and this is a very good start now for the Surrey Stars. But yeah, as I was saying, Van Niekerk's played over 277 international games in her career. 177 international games, and that includes in ODIs 128 wickets, and in T20 internationals 58 wickets. So huge amounts of experience, and has started very nicely here. Great control.
And this will be a prize wicket for Surrey Stars, because Harmanpreet Kaur, the Indian international, comes out to join Talia McGrath. So basically two of the most senior players currently batting for the Thunder. So a very important partnership this for Lancashire Thunder, and a key one for the Surrey Stars to try and break. Here's Van Niekerk into Harmanpreet Kaur, who's sweeping down to deep backward square leg and jogging through for a single to keep the strike. So that over from Van Niekerk produces a wicket, and at the cost of just 2 runs. So terrific stuff. The dismissal of Sophia Dunkley, LBW. So 7 overs gone, 35 for 3 at the end of the 7th over. And a very good start. But this is an important part of the game for me, especially with these two batting, McGrath and Harmanpreet Kaur, because these two are the most experienced members of this Lancashire top order.
Well, Harmanpreet Kaur played a beautiful innings last year at the Kia Oval to win that game for the Lancashire Thunder. Marizanne Kapp's going to bowl out here, so she's going to bowl her 4th and final over. Got her started with the wicket of Lease, bowled an absolute perler for 4. And at the moment, still a very attacking field, even though we're in the 8th over now, just 2 outside the circle. As in comes Marizanne Kapp, and Kaur's forward, pushing this one out towards cover point. We'll pick up a single, so this is basically Marizanne Kapp saying they're going to try and knock one of these two over now.
Yeah, I think the field represents, one, the start that Surrey Stars have made with the ball, and 2, the significance of this partnership. And she's bowled so well. 1 more over, let's keep attacking, let's see if we can get rid of one of these, and then they'll feel as though they've kind of broken the back on the Lancashire innings.
Yeah, this is a huge partnership now. So for McGrath, we'll have 3 outside, fine leg, 3rd man, and a deep backward square. 36 for 3, 8th over. Marizanne Kapp coming over the wicket to the right-handed McGrath, and McGrath is in behind a short one, pushing this one straight back up the pitch. And Marizanne Kapp does the fielding off her own bowling. But yes, Harmonpreet Kaur last year at the Kia Oval. It was a wonderful innings.
It was an absolute gem, wasn't it?
Guided the Thunder and finished it with a 6.
That's right, yeah.
So I remember very well. Timed it to perfection. The whole innings. As McGrath waits again for Marizanne Cap. That nips back from Marizanne Cap and hits McGrath on the thigh guard. Rolls away out towards cover point, and there's no run.
That game was it was a double header, wasn't it? There was a men's game following it.
Glamorgan. Yes, there was the Glamorgan game in the evening. So I got the Joy of Yourself and then Mr. Nick Webb as well.
What a day for you.
Commentary box. What a day. Today is like that again.
Yes,
Mr.
yeah.
Reid.
Having to hot-foot it again, aren't you?
Hot-foot it to Lords later. Yes. Marizanne Cap over the wicket to McGrath. McGrath drives uppishly out towards the sweeper on the cover rope. Will pick up a single. One more to the total. And McGrath moves on to 10. 37 for 3. Yes, so I'm hot-footing it to Lords tonight for Middlesex Surrey in the Vitality T20 Blast. So looking forward to that. A few names on show tonight as well. A.B. de Villiers, of course, scoring runs for me. I'm doing my stats this morning. He's already averaging 95. As this one, Harmonpreet Kaur just drives up towards mid-on. And there's no run as the throw comes in over the top of the stumps. Are
there any double headers between Surrey men and women in this competition this year?
It's a really good question, and if I were near my rucksack I would be able to tell you because my diary's in there. From memory, no.
No, Lancashire don't have one neither.
I don't think there is this year. I rather enjoyed it last year.
Yeah, me too.
As Cap is over to Kaur, and Kaur is driving up towards mid-off. And Marsh does the fielding. There is no run. Tidy over and a very good spell of bowling that from Marizanne Cap. And 8 overs gone. And the Lancashire Thunder are 37 for 3.
I think she's signed off 4 overs, 1 for 14.
Very good.
It's Marizanne Cap.
What was fascinating, and Dan Norcross and I both spotted it, is when Surrey won against the Yorkshire Diamonds at Headingley on Tuesday night. At the end of the game, Marizanne Cap went straight out with the coaches and bowled some overs just with the coaches there. Obviously wasn't happy with something. So has been working hard on something, and outstanding today. 1 for 14 off 4.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they pick up on, the little bits and bobs that they pick up on, and I guess sometimes coaches and captains want just to take a little bit of time and then reflect the following day, and sometimes you want to go straight in, don't you, with your feedback, as McGrath tries to work this out into the onside, just deflects back down the pitch, and there is no run. 37 for 3 at the start of the 9th over. Nat Sever bowling from the railway end. There's that red and blue and yellow train goes zipping across from left to right as we look. Keeper stands up right behind the stumps. McGrath waits, tall in the crease. Goes for a big shot, but a bit of extra bounce and terrific glove work by Taylor to take it at, again, bouncing up kind of almost shoulder height. Great snaffle by Sarah Taylor, who's standing up to Nat Sever. And Sever's pushing mid-on back to the boundary and bringing up third man inside the circle. So long on, there's a deep square leg, there's a fine leg, and the fielder out on that cover boundary. McGrath goes big. It's a thick top edge. Could be taken here. Oh, that's a terrific catch. And Sever strikes, and a wonderful catch running back by Alicia Cranstone is outstanding, because that was dropping over her shoulder and she's running back towards the third man boundary, and that is a terrific take because she cut to it. She was falling over in the process of getting there, and to have got to it and kept it as well. It was a fine piece of work by Cranstone to take the catch, and we mentioned the partnership, a big one for the Stars to try and break, and they've done that. McGrath's gone for 10, and Thunder have lost their 4th wicket, 37 for 4.
Yeah, it's a fantastic catch over her right shoulder. I'm not quite sure of the tactic there from McGrath. All of a sudden against Nat Sever, looking to launch her down the ground twice. And as you were saying, massive partnership that for the Thunder, and McGrath goes, but a wonderful, wonderful catch. Could have easily, as she fell to the earth there, that could have easily come out of her hands. But terrific grab.
Yeah, I wonder whether McGrath just felt like she's starting to get a little bit tied down. We're in the 9th. Just the 37 on the board. She just seen third man come up inside the circle, but it looked like a bit of a rash shot, really. Slashing
at
at
the
it.
ball before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't come off then. And it was sort of, I think, because mid-on was up, was looking to go over towards the temporary stand down there at long on.
Emma Lamb is a new batter, but they did cross. Harmen Pretcour's on strike. This is a wide down the leg side. Even a tumbling Taylor couldn't get a glove on that. Oh, and then it's, well, just about picked up from the rope down below us. Slight lack of communication, but it could have gone for 4 in the end. It didn't. Bit of work down on the boundary rope, so it's umpire signals are wide. They ran 2, so the score will move on to 40 for 4. 3 extra onto that board. Harmen Pretcour remains unbeaten on 2. Sever balls to her. It's a wide outside the off stump this time. Playing a miss and into and then out of the gloves of Sarah Taylor. And there's no run.
Yeah, Cranston did well there as well, because Amy Gordon led it straight through her legs. Cranston came sprinting around, just about kept it inside the rope.
Indeed. Yeah, good. Actually, she was really alert to that, wasn't she? Because that could have easily have just trickled back onto the rope. But she saw what was happening. Sever in. Forward goes Harmen Pretcour in defence, is pushing, smothering the ball out into the offside. Picked up at short extra cover by Van Niekerk. And there is no run. We're at Guildford Cricket Club here on the BBC Sport website and app. Also available via Surrey's official website. You can watch the action and listen to the commentary. It's the Kia Super League fixture between the Surrey Stars and Lancashire Thunder. As Nat Sever bowls an absolute beauty to Harmen Pretcour, which jags back in. I think beats her on the inside edge. And through to Taylor. It's gone over the top of the stumps. That was a terrific delivery by Sever to complete a very good over for the Surrey Stars. One that they've managed to break what looked like potentially could be a key partnership for the Thunder. That dismissal of Talia McGrath. So Sever's reintroduction has worked a treat. 9 overs gone, 40 for 4, the Lancashire Thunder.
Yeah, and Sever bowled very nicely up at Headingley on Tuesday night, 2 for 25 on Tuesday night. Emma Lamb getting ready for her first delivery, and it'll be Laura Marsh, who was the pick of the bowlers up at Headingley and won the Player of the Match award. 3 for 17 for Marsh. So into the attack here with Emma Lamb on strike, and again she'll not have the full 5, I don't think, outside the circle. There'll be the deep backward square, deep mid wicket, a long on, and then a sweeper on the cover rope, keeping mid off up, because at the moment Surrey Stars are right on top of the Lancashire Thunder and just trying to squeeze this innings at the moment. 40 for 4, and Marsh to bowl the 10th over, her first, replacing Marizanne Kapp, who finished with 1 for 14. Marsh then round the wicket to the right-handed Lamb, and Lamb's turning this one into the leg side, and we'll get a single. Cranstone, who's going end to end here, she's doing third man to third man at the moment, and we'll pick up 1. Will Lamb to get off the mark, and comes back on to strike, but just taking that marvellous catch. The bowler coming in from the railway end, and now down at fine leg on the edge of the circle for Laura Marsh from the pavilion end. Kaur waits for Marsh, and Marsh is the one that goes on and beats the outside edge. Nicely bowled from round the wicket, and just pushing forward Kaur, and expecting that to spin back. It just drifts past the outside edge. Nicely taken by Sarah Taylor. Neat and tidy, as always, as Marsh is in, and Kaur's back on her stumps, and then pushes this one wristily out towards extra cover, and there is no run.
It's a good contest, this, isn't it? 2 top players, Marsh with the ball, Harmen Pretcour with the bat. 2 extremely talented players. Good little battle, this.
Harmen Pretcour stands and waits once again as Marsh is round the wicket with her off breaks. That's too short, and that'll just be tucked down to short fine leg by Harmen Pretcour. She'll pick up a single, 1 more to the total. That'll bring Emma Lamb back onto strike. I'd love to do a competition just to sort of solve it once and for all between Ben Folkes and Sarah Taylor, to say who is the best in the world. Because for me, those 2 are up there, without a doubt, with gloves. As this one, Emma Lamb's looking to cut, goes past her outside edge, beautifully taken by Sarah Taylor. Makes it look so easy.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, 42 for 4.
That is the clue. How easy she makes it look.
Marsh is in again, and Lamb turns leg side, wants a single, isn't one there because Nat Sivers quickly up to do the fielding. Good over from Marsh. You can feel the pressure building and building on the Lancashire Thunder at the moment. They're halfway, 2 off that over, and the Lancashire Thunder are 42 for 4, so they're going to have to take a gamble at some point.
Yeah, I think that's perhaps was the reason behind the dismissal of McGrath, the way that she got out, because maybe just feeling that the pressure has been built. I mean, Surrey have bowled beautifully, they've fielded really well, they've taken the chances that have come their way, they've just kept the pressure on, even out through the power play, kept fielders inside in the ring in catching positions, keeping the pressure on the 2 out in the middle. So somewhere along the line, the Thunder will try and look for an out close from this, but it's in a minute there's nothing on offer. They've gone back to Van Meerkerk as well, and she started off superbly. 1 over, picked up the wicket, just went for 2 runs. The dismissal of Sophia Dunkley. Van Meerkerk is reintroduced, replacing Nat Siver from the railway end. Starts with quite a wide position. It's a wide angled approach up to the stumps, and then bowls to Harmanpreet Kaur, who's going back and dabbing it into the offside, pick up and throw, and Emma Lamb having to put the full dive in, a little bit frantic as the throw came in to Taylor, who clipped the bails off. Maybe a direct hit, could have been tight.
Yeah, very tight, I think. Just took a while to get going there, Emma Lamb, and respond to the call, and had to put the dive in. I'm just wondering, Scott Reed, anyone would notice if I took one of these pot plants home with me?
Well,
might be a struggle to get it on the train.
That's I would think, probably your main challenge. This is tossed up. It's a real high full toss, which is swatted out through the onside by Lamb for a single. 44 for 4.
They are magnificent.
They're beautiful.
They're
yeah.
huge.
Mm.
I think we've got a tree in the middle of them.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what type of tree it is. Olive tree, is it? Oh, how lovely.
Adam.
Thank you very much. Van Meerkerk to Harmanpreet Kaur, who's playing forward and defending, and there's no run.
Hope they don't grow too much by this time next year, though, because it'll obscure our view.
Yes.
Because they're fledglings at the moment, aren't they? These olive trees.
He looks lovely on the roof of the pavilion. I think you would struggle to get it back on the train, if I am being honest. Van Meerkerk, a flatter ball to Harmanpreet Kaur, who's hopping back into the crease and driving up to long on. And Bryony Smith comes up from the boundary rope to field. Extra run on the ball for Lancashire Thunder. Harmanpreet Kaur moves to 5, 45 for 4. Emma Lamb goes on the reverse this time and gets enough contact on that to get at least a single. It will be just the 1. As Cranstone loses a cap as she comes round to field the ball.
Barbecue still going, away to our left as well. Can see the smoke from the barbecue.
So it's a nice little spot down there, actually, isn't it? I mean, Brett Kaur is hopping onto the back foot and driving to long on for a single. Takes their total on to 6. It's the end of the 11th. 47 for 4 at the end of that over. 11 overs gone. Yes, a lovely little spot there with the deck chairs just in front of the barbecue.
Yep.
And
we should have gone down there.
That'd have been quite nice.
Could have run a long lead down and sat by the barbecue.
It would have been slightly awkward commentary position, but the feel of it would have been lovely.
Well, they've got the Surrey deck chairs down there. You can buy Surrey deck chairs as Marsh.
Can you really?
Yeah, from the pavilion end.
Of course you can.
Typical Surrey. As Kaur will be on strike. As round the wicket comes Marsh, full toss, and Kaur failed again. Like, missed out a touch there. Has just slapped it down the ground towards long on. We'll take a single. 1 more to the total. 48 for 4.
I was telling you before the game that a couple of years ago I was covering a Lancashire Thunder match in Blackpool, at Stanley Park in Blackpool, just by the zoo. And Lancashire Thunder were playing the Loughborough Lightning.
Marsh round the wicket to Lamb. Lamb backs away and chops this one down to backward point. We'll take a single. 1 more to Lamb. She'll move on to 4. And Lancashire Thunder move on to 49 for 4.
And there was nowhere really obvious for me to locate myself to commentate. So we decided to get the radio mic out, which allows you to wander around.
Round the wicket goes Marsh, and Preetcour's forward, pushing this one out into the offside, and there's no run.
So we basically just spent the day doing laps of the outfield, commentating from different positions. I really enjoyed my day.
There's something about mobile commentary. You were telling me you ordered a coffee live on air as well.
I did.
It's an excellent add-on to cricket commentary. As round the wicket comes Marsh, and Preetcour goes back and then pulls this off a toppish edge, and it just spins on Maddie Villiers off the turf, and they'll get 2 as the throw comes in from Maddie Villiers. It's one of those that it was spinning off the edge, and as it hit the ground it just spun the other way at Maddie Villiers, but she's got a hand to it, and that's the 50 up for the Thunder in this, the 12th of their 20 overs, so 51 for 4. And now mid-off comes down to long-off. Van Neerkerk goes from mid-off to long-off. As round the wicket then goes Marsh, and calls back and chopping this one down to backward point. Quick single was about to be taken, but then I think Emma Lamb did the right thing and sent back Core, because there was never a run there. The throw was whipped in by Bryony Smith over the top of the stumps. I think had they gone for a single there, that would have been number 5 for the Surrey Stars. 51 for 4 in the 12th over. Preetcour drives, good looking shot, but straight out to fielder on the edge of the circle. There at cover, throw comes in, Gwen Davis doing fielding, end of the over. So 12 gone, 4 off that over, and Lancashire Thunder 51 for 4.
Yeah, the wickets of Georgie Boyce, Sune Lees, Tala McGrath, Sophia Dunkley, with a wicket for Villiers, for Cap, Siver and Van Neerkerk. It's a very good return for the Surrey Stars on a cloudy and blustery day in Guildford. And the Surrey Stars against the Lancashire Thunder, Mark Church and Scott Reed for the BBC, and you can follow the coverage via the Surrey website as well. There's a live stream taking place. There's all sorts of wires being plugged into various boxes and machines to our right hand side, so you can watch the pictures and listen to the commentary as well. You can access it via the BBC Sport website and app. What can Lancashire muster as a total? As Amy Gordon comes into the attack and bowls to Lamb. It's a 4-ball onto the pads of Lamb. Whips that away through mid-wicket for a single.
Well, you'd think you'd need to be up around 100 just to stand any hope in this game, because there's nothing wrong with the pitch at all. I just think that the Stars have bowled very well today.
Yeah, the bowling's been good. The chances have been taken in the field as well, so the catching's been excellent. Gordon bowls to Harman Preetcour, who's neatly forward in defence and squeezing the ball back down the pitch, and gathered by Amy Gordon off her own bowling, and there is no run. 52 for 4. The Lancashire Thunder with 3 defeats against the Surrey Stars and 1 victory so far. It's a ball which Harman Preetcour tries to swat through the onside, looking out towards that temporary stand. But in the end, it comes with the toe end of the bat and squirts to mid-off. I
thought she was aiming for Daptune Wharf there, but I think it just dipped on her at the last moment. She adjusted very well, because she shaped up to down on one knee to launch that over mid-wicket.
Not too dissimilar to the type of shot she hit to win the game at the Kia Oval last season, but on this occasion it came off the toe on the bat and just squirted up to mid-off. Fine legs come inside the circle. Here's Amy Gordon bowling to Harman Preetcour, playing forward and defending, and there's no run. Bowling has been excellent. There's been so few scoring shots on offer. Thunder batters having to try to manufacture shots here. The bowling's been good line, good length. There's been little on offer, even for a player of Harman Preetcour's skill. Gordon into Preetcour. She goes big, trying to clear extra cover. I think it will land safe. It does. 3 converge, with deep point coming up to field. Laura Marsh, I think it is, out on that boundary. And Armen Pretker adds a run to her total, moves into double figures, moves up to 10. Thunder are 53 for 4. Ambulance goes down the road to our right-hand side. It's a busy old road, that, isn't it? It's golden balls, and Lamb slog sweeps this one out through mid-wicket. This might bring her 4, might bring a much-needed boundary for Thunder. No, it doesn't. It's cut off on that deep mid-wicket boundary. In the end, just 2. Again, much appreciated, the work in the deep, this time by Marizan Cap. Getting from deep square leg to deep mid-wicket pretty quickly, and does really well to save. In the end, 2 runs. It looked like Lamb got enough of that to find the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4, but restricted to 2. It's the end of the 13th over. Lancashire Thunder are 55 for 4.
Yeah, and a bit more intent in that over, wasn't there, from the Lancashire Thunder. Got to start trying to push this run rate up now. 7 overs left, 55 for 4. Scott Reed is having a little wander around the roof at the moment because we're commentating standing and walking today. We do have 1 stool to sit upon, but we made an executive decision that we're going to have a little wander and keep the legs going. Maddie Villiers from the pavilion end to bowl the 14th over, coming round the wicket to Harpreet Kaur, who's looking to turn leg side, gets a leading edge, rolls away into the offside, and there's no run. We haven't had a boundary for quite some time, but we haven't had too many boundaries all told. 4 off the top of my head, I would say, we've had today. As Kaur waits again as Maddie Villiers comes round the wicket to her. Kaur's looking to little paddle down towards fine leg, gets nothing on it. Beautifully taken. 3 boundaries we've had today. Thank you, Scott Reed. Nicely taken again by Sarah Taylor, moving away to his left-hand side, her left-hand side. That's gone over the top of the middle stump, actually, seeing it again. As Villiers is in, Harpreet Kaur, good shot. Up and over the top of mid-off, 1 bounce and down to the long-off boundary rope for 4. Nicely played, our 4th boundary of the day. And fully in control of that with the mid-off up. A couple of steps down the pitch and then nicely lofted up and over the top of that mid-off. And away for 4, 59 for 4 and 14 to Kaur.
Yeah, good shot. Thunder will need her to bat through the majority, if not all, of these remaining overs to try and get something on the board. Best batter in the team, really, in truth, is Armen Pretker.
Well, that's why you sign your overseas to do this. Hold the whole thing together. As Maddie Villiers is inched down the pitch again, Harpreet Kaur, and then just drives out towards that sweeper on the cover rope. Will pick up a single. 1 more to her. She moves on to 15. 60 for 4. I do enjoy just looking to my left to see Scott Reed leant over, having a look down below us.
Little peer down below us, yeah.
People in the deck chairs and the white plastic chairs. As Villiers is in, Lamb reverse sweeps, gets something on this. Not bat, I'm not sure. Was there a bit of bat and pad? Yes, bat as well. So just a single. A couple of times she's pulled out the reverse sweep now, Emma Lamb. Doesn't get much on that, but gets a single. 1 more to the total. She moves on to 8. 61 for 4. Lancashire Thunder. This is quicker from Villiers. Nicely bowled because Kaur was coming down the pitch towards her. Saw her coming, just fisted in. And it's the end of the over. 14 gone, so better over that. 6 off it for the Thunder, but only 6 overs remaining of their 20.
Indeed. Cars and vans buzzing up and down on that road out towards our right-hand side.
It will get very busy around about 5 o'clock. The Woodbridge Road,
yeah,
people going home.
Yeah. You're making a dash back towards the train station.
You may even see me. Well, if you do, I'm going the wrong way. So if you could shout and tell me to go the other way, I'd be very grateful, because I'll be going completely the opposite direction to the station.
61 for 4. With, well, a partnership here of some sorts for the Thunder to try and build on. It's Lamb that's on strike, muscling this delivery from Nat Siver out through mid-wicket. With Marizan Cap coming up from the boundary to field. Lamb gets a single, moves to 9, 62 for 4. Armen Pretker peering over her shoulder out towards that leg side boundary. Just the one fielder located there. There's a third man. And there's a deep point as well, and a long on. Paddles this one down to short fine leg, where it's fielded by Van Niekerk, and there's no run. 62 for 4 in the 15th.
She's almost paddled that straight to Van Niekerk, who I think I needed more of the fielding there than her hands, but she felt that on her left knee.
Yeah, just rubbing that now, isn't she? Yeah, flexing the knee back and forth. Little rub of the shin as well. And then Pritkurt waits for Sever, who's bowling. A wide ball. She's slapped away up to mid-off, fielded by Marsh. And there is no run. Another change to the field. Third man comes up. Mid-wicket drops back. 62 for 4. Armen Pritkurt on 15. And that's Sever. Little shuffle at the start of a mark and then strides in, bowls over the wicket. Slow ball, which is driven very neatly. Very emphatically for 4 runs. Sliced away, backward of square on the offside. Lovely looking shot from Armen Pritkurt. And a much needed boundary for Lancashire Thunder as well. She moves up to 19, the score to 66 for 4. A glorious looking shot from Armen Pritkurt. That square drive just worked just backward of square down towards the boundary for 4 runs. Severin bowls, swing and a miss this time from Armen Pritkurt. And there's no run.
Taken again, Sarah Taylor, wasn't it? Didn't even notice that she'd taken the ball behind the stumps.
Well, she took it and then instantly threw it towards the stumps, just in case Armen Pritkurt just drifted out of a crease. But I should say, it's just so looks so easy, so natural. It's a wide ball, which Armen Pritkurt does well. Plays a late cut down to wide third man and gets 4 more runs. So a couple of boundaries from that over. That will help the Thunder no end, and Armen Pritkurt responsible for them both. The second one was kind of manufactured. The first one was a beautiful square drive, but she's moved to 23. We've had 14 overs, and the Lancashire Thunder are 70. Correction, we've had 15 overs. The Lancashire Thunder are 70 for 4.
To show you what hard work it's been, 9 off that over, and that's the best over for the Lancashire Thunder. So that's their best over with the bat so far. And Marsh it will be to continue from the pavilion end, but Pritkurt only made 1 in the opening game, but of course very, very, very fine player. 23 not out at the moment. Emma Lamb will be on strike here to Marsh, bowling our 16th over, and Lamb backs away and cuts out towards the sweeper on the cover boundary road. They'll pick up a single. Sun's trying to come out again. Well, it is out. There's a little patch of blue sky there beating down on us. You can just about see the top of the spire of Guildford Cathedral if you sort of peer. No, not there, Mr. Reed, not behind us. You have to sort of peer across the balcony here. I say that, I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Over there in the distance. Away to your left, sir.
Oh, yes.
Over the top of the trees there.
Lovely.
To the left. As Marsh is in, and Kerr's sweeping down towards short fine leg. Will pick up a single to Cranston. 1 more to the total, moves on to 24. 72 for 4.
I'm sure it's a lovely spire, but Churchy, but I can't see it.
Yes, I sort of can.
Right.
Yes, and the YMCA, which was only built a couple of years ago, behind us there.
Tremendous.
Yes, as round the wicket once again comes Marsh, and Lamb cuts and gets this away past third man on the edge of the circle. That's Liz Lee, who goes down, does well, slides, gets the ball inside the rope, manages to avoid a couple of spectators as well. But Lamb got enough bat on that to get it down towards third man. They'll pick up 2 more. 2 more to the total. 74 for 4. Lamb moves on to 12.
I can't be the only person now that's got the YMCA song in my mind.
Well,
it's now going through my mind.
During the championship game here this year, I actually did it on air.
Brilliant.
He's bowled, because coming round the wicket was Laura Marsh, and Lamb looking to sort of manoeuvre that into the leg side, standing up straight, got herself in a bit of a muddle and almost yorked herself. And Lamb goes for 12 just as a partnership was beginning to build there. And Lamb goes for 12, and find themselves Lancashire Thunder 5 down now at 74 for 5.
Yeah, that would be, I suspect, well, absolutely the best partnership of the innings so far. I think those two put on 37 Lamb and Harman Pritcourt. It's a vital partnership, but it comes to an end. But Lamb again just looking to keep the scoreboard ticking over, trying to find shots, trying to sweep the ball, trying to find little gaps in the field, which has been hard work. Boundaries, as we mentioned, have been few and far between from Lancashire Thunder. 2 for Georgie Boyce, 1 for Sunar Lees, 3 for Harman Pritcourt. The only batters able to actually find the boundary rope, such has been the accuracy of the bowling from the Surrey Stars. But good little knock from Lamb, good partnership, but timely breakthrough for the Stars.
Absolutely, and Sophie Eccleston is out there in the middle, taking her guard. Sun is out, lovely.
Beautiful.
Very good.
What is that factor 15?
I'm enjoying this. It's reminding me of my trip to Dubai with Daniel Norcross.
Ah, lovely.
Pre-season. On the roof in Dubai. It stood in a sandstorm.
That was windy, that, wasn't it?
Windy and sandy. It really was. Poor old Daniel. I didn't think he was going to get through it. As Eccleston waits for her first delivery from Marsh and punches it straight back up the pitch, and Marsh does the fielding off her own bowling, and there's no run. I think my laptop computer still has sand from Dubai in it. But very windy. But we were on the roof there, and when the sun came out, it's very nice. It's very nice now. On the roof in Guildford as Marsh is in. Eccleston pulls just over the top of Siver out towards deep mid-wicket. They'll pick up a single as Marizanne Kapp, who's got a wonderful arm, rockets the ball in. But Eccleston's off the mark with a single. End of the over, a good one from Marsh. 16 gone, 4 left for the Lancashire Thunder, and they are 75 for 5.
Well, Sophie Eccleston can hit the ball well. Big, strong, powerful hitter, so I suspect she will come out here. And with overs running out now, with a bit of a licence to try and just do what she did then, which was muscle it over mid-wicket, I don't suspect that we'll see a different type of approach from Sophie Eccleston. I think she'll come out and try and hit the ball. Only 4 overs remaining for the Thunder, and 75 on the board so far.
There used to be a singer on the BBC called Val Doonican. You're too young to remember Val Doonican. He always did a wonderful Christmas special. Feeling a bit like him at the moment, sat on this stool, because we've only got the one stool, but he always used to sit sideways on the stool while singing his songs. Feeling a little bit like that at the moment.
Van Niekerk will come back into the attack. Balls to Eccleston, who's squeezing into the offside. No run. Did he have one of these ridiculous cardigans on?
Oh, yes. He always had a yes.
I know what you mean.
Marvellously knitted.
That's the
cardi.
one. Yeah.
He's had a wonderful array of cardigans. Always a log fire in the background as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
Is it like country music or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh. Tossed up by Van Niekerk and slapped straight to mid-wicket. And that's the end of Sophie Eccleston, taken by Bryony Smith at mid-wicket. Good catch, actually, because she hit the ball quite hard. I mentioned that she should probably come out and just try and hit it. And that's exactly what Sophie Eccleston did. Hit it with pace, and a good, smart catch by Bryony Smith at mid-wicket. And Van Niekerk picks up another wicket, Lancashire lose their 6th. And 75 for the loss of those 6 wickets. And Eccleston, the latest to depart.
Yeah, this innings has just stalled throughout, hasn't it? It's just never got going. And a bit like a cold morning with the car, when you had a choke on your car.
Oh, what?
You're desperate. Well, before your time, you didn't have automatic chokes on the car. So,
What's
with
a choke?
now. Well, you used to have to pull a little lever to get the engine
Did
to
you?
go. Oh, yes, it didn't automatically do it. And it's and then it would start, and it's been a little bit like that in this innings, hasn't it? So it sort of hasn't really quite got going. Cold engine in the mornings, and just as you think it's going to get started, then it stops again. Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know that, Scott Reed. You're showing. Well, I'm showing my age.
A choke.
Yes,
right.
Not an automatic. You have to do it yourself.
Van Niekerk balls. This is driven but with no timing out by Ellie Threlkeld into mid-wicket. There is no run. I thought you just put the keys and turned the ignition and the thing started up.
No.
Oh, right. No. 75 for 6 in the 17th. Swept, thick top edge, could be caught and is caught at it deep mid-wicket. Ellie Threlkeld's gone, and Van Niekerk continues her terrific little spell. Another wicket for her. Villiers with a catch out in the deep, and Threlkeld gone for that big slog sweep, There's two fielders positioned on the leg side boundary, one of whom is Maddie Villiers, who takes a good catch. And end of early Threlcold. Lancashire is 7 down, and well, if it was struggling to get going at the start and during the middle part of their innings, it's almost come to a grinding halt for Lancashire now, 75 for 7.
I think the only good thing about that is that Cole's got on strike. She's been stood at the non-strikers end watching this, and Cole has to see as much of the bowling now as possible. 24 not out of 75 for 7. And Evelyn Jones comes out to join her. Nicely taken by Maddie Villiers. I just thought for a second she'd misjudged that, but she actually just took a couple of paces and then just waited and took it beautifully.
3 wickets for Van Niekerk. 3 for 7 from, this is her 3rd over, so she's still got one to go. And those two fielders lurking on that leg side boundary, which is teasing and tempting the Lancashire batters. In fact, previous 2 wickets have gone with shots aimed towards that shorter leg side. They've opened up mid-wicket with Harmen Prutkur on strike because she's strong through the offside, as we've seen already in this little cameo of 24 from Harmen Prutkur. Van Niekerk bowls to her. That's forced into the offside, but straight to actually the fielder that's been relocated from mid-wicket to extra cover. And straight to Bryony Smith. Gets everything in behind that, stops the ball, hands it back to Van Niekerk. Slowly drifts in, bowling wide of the crease. Harmen Prutkur going right back and forcing into the offside, just underneath the dive from Bryony Smith. And Harmen Prutkur gets a single. Crucially for the Thunder, she remains on strike as well. Only 3 overs left. 7 wickets down. 76 runs on the board. Harmen Prutkur unbeaten on 25. And she's alongside Eve Jones, who's yet to get off the mark. 3 overs to go.
Tremendous over, isn't it? Just the single off it, couple of wickets. And yeah, very, very good stuff from Van Niekerk and Marsh. It will be to bowl our 18th over from the pavilion end. And Cole will be on strike on 25. I can't believe he didn't know there weren't such things as automatic chokes.
I never heard of a choke.
Well, of course, there was the first cars used to have to put in a little sort of Allen key in the front and wind it up.
Well, I've seen that, like a black and white type.
Yes, I'm not that
era.
old. I didn't have one of those. But my first car had a little handle at the bottom under the wheel, and you had to get it in the mornings, do the choke yourself.
It's like a balancing act, was it?
Right. Pull it.
So too much choke and it would...
Too much choke, bang, stall. So really, and especially in the cold in the mornings. Yeah, there's a real art to
I can imagine. Sounds it.
Yeah. As Marsh from the pavilion end, round the wicket to Harmen Prutkur, who's driving straight down the ground, 1 bounce to Amy Gordon. I thought she picked Amy Gordon out there for a second, but throw comes in on the half volley to Marsh. And, well, Cole goes off strike, first ball of the over. So this will bring Jones on to strike, left-hander. First left-hander of the innings, 77 for 7. So it's all the 7s on the board in the 18th over here for Lancashire Thunder. Field changes. Marsh will have 4 in the covers, long off, long on. Deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, fine leg on the edge of the circle, 3rd man on the edge of the circle. He's going to defend that offside. Here's Marsh. Jones waits with bat raised as Marsh comes bouncing in round the wicket, tosses it up, and Jones is forward and stumps it into the leg side, and round comes Sarah Taylor from behind the stumps, and there's no run. And dot balls at the moment are not what Lancashire Thunder need. They need to find runs off every delivery if they can.
But there was nothing there again, is there, from that delivery by Marsh? Nothing there to hit.
Marsh is over the wicket. Jones forward, drives out towards extra cover. No run there because Van Niekerk is on the edge of the circle doing the fielding. Fakes to throw just to keep Harmen Prutkur quiet at the non-striker's end. Someone wandering away from the barbecue with a couple of hot dogs and a burger. As Marsh is in, this is quicker and turned leg side by Jones. Will pick up a single out there towards deep mid-wicket. Bryony Smith does the fielding. And off the mark is Eve Jones with a single, 78 for 7. And then Harmanpreet Kaur comes back onto strike, holding this innings together with 26 to her name. Laura Marsh with her off breaks, ready to come round the wicket once more. Wants a change in the field, just wants backward pointer a little squarer. Harmanpreet Kaur just taking her time and then settles over her bat, right-handed. 26 not out of 78 for 7. Driving in the air, but away between cover and cover point. That's lovely placement from Harmanpreet Kaur. Great hands, great placement. And away for 4, moves on to 30. 82 for 7, Lancashire Thunder.
Yeah, they stacked that offside, hadn't they, inside the 30-metre circle. But again, Harmanpreet Kaur managing just to weave the ball in between a very short gap between cover and point.
Yeah, smashing placement that from Harmanpreet Kaur. Get that wrong, you're out. Got it perfectly, bisecting the two fielders. Oh, she's swinging this for 6. That's our first one of the game. And it's a super shot over mid-wicket into the fencing. Clean as a whistle, that strike. And soared away for 6. And on to 36 goes Harmanpreet Kaur. Terrific innings this. Just when Lancashire Thunder needed some boundaries, she's come up with a 6 and a 4. 18 overs gone, and the best over for the Lancashire Thunder. 12 off it, 88 for 7, Scott Reed.
It was pretty dismissive, that too, wasn't it? That 6, terrific shot, biggest hit of the game so far. It'll dance down the pitch and clearing mid-wicket and hitting that kind of metal fence that is running alongside the ground.
That didn't used to be there.
But that was eventful.
Well, during a one-day game many years ago, Cardigan Connor, Alistair Brown got a double 100 here in a one-day game. And most of Cardigan Connor's deliveries ended up in that petrol station away to our right. Yes.
That's quite, you think that would be quite an important thing to get built nice and early, that fence.
Yep. Nope.
Right.
Quite a bit of Woodbridge Road action was had with cricket balls.
Van Niekerk in and balls. It's plenty of bottom hand from Eve Jones, who works the ball up to wide long on. But crucially, she's got a run, and she's got Harmanpreet Kaur back on strike, 89 for 7.
The joke was that Cardigan Connor's deliveries visited that petrol station so many times that afternoon that they got a lovely free set of wine glasses and a decanter by the end of it. But yes, Ali Brown eyed up that area and just went for it and got a double 100 in a one-day game here a few years ago now. That.
Here's something for the glove compartment.
Yes.
Complimentary then. 89 for 7. Harmanpreet Kaur on 36, crucial 36 for the Lancashire Thunder. Van Niekerk, who's bowled superbly so far, brings
shot
Harmanpreet Kaur down the pitch. It's a magnificent lofted drive for 6. Back over the bowler's head. It actually crashes into the sight screen. And that 6 more takes her to 42. And Lancashire to 95 for 7. And boy, have they needed these runs from Harmanpreet Kaur.
Apologies, Mr. Reed, for crying in the middle of your delivery there. What a shot that is from Harmanpreet Kaur. The most beautiful use of the feet, and as straight as a die, straight into the sight screen for 6.
It was a peach. Well, 95 for 7 in the 19th. Van Niekerk for the Surrey Stars to Harmanpreet Kaur. Again, he's down the pitch, but with no timing this time. Ball squirts off an inside edge up to long on for a single. She moves to 43. And the score ticks along to 96 for 7. Gets Eve Jones back on strike. But just what the Thunder needed right at the very end of their innings. A little bit of momentum. Got to somehow try and get this score up to and above 3 figures, which is what they should do now from this position. Van Niekerk to Jones. That keeps her honest, just cramps her entirely for room. There's no choice but to defend back down the pitch. Gathered by Van Niekerk off her own ball and no run.
Should get 100 here now.
Should do,
Thunder.
Which looked a decent way off.
Yep.
Goodness me, it did. Van Niekerk to Jones, wide, and chopped away through the offside, beats backward point, runs down towards the wide third man boundary. Turn and come back for 2. Takes the total to 98 for 7. And Eve Jones moves up to 4. And Nearkirk from the railway end. 3 wickets so far for her. Spins the ball from one hand to the other, twirls herself back in, bowls a bit wide again and cut once more. Stopped at point, run out chance here, throw up towards the bowler's end. He's too high for the bowler. Actually, they'll come back and run too, but there was confusion there with Harmanpreet Kaur kind of halfway down the track with Eve Jones blissfully unaware. Anyway, the throw wasn't the greatest over the top of the bowler. Had it been a much better throw, I suspect there was a run out there, but there wasn't, and that brings up rather frantically, without any great deal of confidence, the Lancashire three figures, 100 for 7 at the end of the 19th over.
Yeah, they've gone well because halfway, 42 for 4. Apologies, 42 for 4. So the 100 coming up at the end of the 19th over. Yeah, Maddie Villiers there. That throw, wild throw over the top of Van Neerkirk because, well, Harmanpreet Kaur had given it up. But in the end, they get 2. So it will be Nat Siver to bowl our final over of this Lancashire Thunder innings. And, well, Harmanpreet Kaur has played a wonderful knock here. 43 out of 100. Coming in at number 5. Held this whole thing together in the second half. What can she find off this final over, though? Nat Siver comes over the wicket to Harmanpreet Kaur. Oh, lovely shot. Backs away and then uppercuts over backward point. It's a different class, you have to say. And away for 4 it goes. And 47 for Harmanpreet Kaur and 104 for 7.
Outstanding shot. Yeah, it certainly was. She just gave herself a little bit of room there with that step to the leg side and then uppercut over the top of the field, just backward of point for 4. Terrific start to the over. This has been a wonderful 47. Can she go on and get herself a half century?
Well, she enjoys playing against the Surrey Stars.
She does.
104 for 7. Harmanpreet Kaur just waiting for Cranstone to come across from... Now, this is an interesting field. Can't get this wrong if you're Nat Siver, because absolute no short fine leg, no fine leg. There is nobody round the corner on the leg side. So, get this wrong, it's 4 every day as Nat Siver's in, and Harmanpreet Kaur goes across to the offside to try and work it down through that fine leg region. And it actually hits her foot and rolls away into the offside, and there's no run. So Harmanpreet Kaur has spotted that to her left, just off her thigh, there is nobody down there towards fine leg. As Nat Siver is in to her, and Harmanpreet Kaur, great shot to bring up a 50 that has been magnificent. Over extra cover for 6, her third. 53 not out. Absolute masterclass this has been from Harmanpreet Kaur. 110 for 7. And she second-guessed Nat Siver there. And has just gone straight over extra cover for 6. Knows that Nat Siver cannot drift onto the stumps here because she's got nobody behind square on the leg side. As she's in, and Harmanpreet Kaur cuts away, down to third man, and a slip, and away for 4 more. So this is turning into a very big over for the Lancashire Thunder. 57 now for Harmanpreet Kaur, and 114 for 7. Gwen Davis there just overran it, and it's whistled away for 4 more. So 14 off the over. And now they're going to get fine leg in on the edge of the circle, drop long off out, and bring that sweeper from the cover rope up to cover. So now all the fielders on the offside are on the edge of the circle. So she's going to try and straighten up her line of attack here, Nat Siver, and defend the leg side boundary. As Nat Siver's in, and that's down the leg side, and that'll be wide signalled. And Nat Siver not convinced by that. Swung, but anything down the leg side now is going to be signalled. Sarah Taylor's sort of indicating that maybe Harmanpreet Kaur avoided that down the leg side, but wide was the signal. It's 1 more to the total, 115 for 7. Nat Siver comes over the wicket once again to Harmanpreet Kaur. Short ball, and Harmanpreet Kaur's gone back to cut. I'm not sure she's got anything on that. It's gone past Sarah Taylor for 4 byes. Bounced. So this is a very expensive over. 119 for 7. And 19 off the over from Nat Siver, the Surrey Stars captain.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that one a little bit streaky, but the others have been terrific shots. That extra cover 6 was outrageous. That late cut, which went down to backward point for 4, again was a terrific shot. So this is an absolutely blinding innings, this for the Thunder.
It is terrific, not because Nat Sivers in and Hampreet Kaur backs away and cuts. And, well, Marsh has done pretty well there on the edge of the circle at third man to get something on it. Otherwise, that would have been away for 4 more. And that is the end of the over. And, well, Hampreet Kaur has played an absolutely terrific innings here, because she will finish 58 not out, and the Lancashire Thunder finish 120 for 7. And that's 20 off the last over from Nat Siver. And Hampreet Kaur is 58 not out, and I have to say, looked in a different class there. That's why you sign the big players. Absolutely brilliant innings from her.
Yeah, only the 8th time that a batter has reached a half century for the Lancashire Thunder, and that's the 2nd time that Harmanpreet Kaur has reached a half century. Got a 74 against Yorkshire last year at Blackpool. Natalie Bolton, Eve Jones, and 3 from Amy Satterthwaite, and 1 from Ellie Threlkeld, the only other Lancashire Thunder players to have got themselves a half century in the Kia Super League. So it's a 2nd one for Harmanpreet Kaur, and an absolutely vital 58 for Lancashire Thunder, who, well, in truth, were not really going anywhere. They were stuttering around in danger of not really putting anything at all on the board to defend. And they will be utterly grateful to the Indian international Harmanpreet Kaur, who ends unbeaten on 58. So 120 for 7. The Lancashire Thunder, which from where they were, is something for their bowlers to work with. 121 for the Surrey Stars to win the game.
Yeah, and I think the Surrey Stars were going a bit deflated there, because they were right on top, weren't they? We were saying at one point, Lancashire Thunder will do well to get 100 here. Well, as it is, they've got 120, and 20 off that last over from Nat Siver. So, from looking at, if you go back to where they were at the end of the 14th over, 61 for 4 at the end of the 14th, and then to get to 120, so they've doubled their score basically in the last 6 overs, and that's all down to Hampreet Kaur with a 58. Absolutely magnificent innings from her. And yeah, I think Surrey Stars have got a bit of work to do here to win this game now. I think they're really going to have to bat well, because I think Lancashire Thunder, their shoulders will go back a bit after that, because they will go into that dressing room. Well, they're back out now. They're already getting warmed up for a bit of a bowl and a defend of that total, but they'll be feeling a lot happier than they were an hour ago.
Yeah, without doubt. I think obviously Harmanpreet Kaur innings stands out like a beacon, doesn't it? But actually, there was quite a decent couple of decent partnerships in there from a Lancashire point of view. Much needed partnerships as well to just try and piece something together. But that excellent 58 from Harmanpreet Kaur is utterly crucial. Decent little partnership with Emma Lamb as well. I think they put on 35. Again, that was good stuff from a Lancashire Thunder point of view. It's given them at least something to work with the ball. 121 is the target for the Surrey Stars, and we'll bring you that run chase in the not too distant future.
Well, a very warm welcome back to Guildford here on BBC Lancashire and BBC Radio London. So, Lancashire Thunder have posted 120 for 7, which looked a long way off at one stage when they found themselves 37 for 4 in the 9th over. But, well, a quite outstanding innings from Harmanpreet Kaur of 58 not out has got the Lancashire Thunder to that very competitive 120 for 7. So it's 121 then for the Surrey Stars to win this game. Liz Lee and Bryony Smith are out there in the middle already. Scott Reed is alongside. Kate Cross is getting ready to bowl the first over from the Werroway end. But that's a good total from where they were for the Lancashire Thunder.
It is, yeah. 20 runs off the final over. Harmanpreet Kaur with a terrific unbeaten half-century, absolutely crucial. And I think it's obviously something to work with. It could be competitive. That it could be some good runs on the board from a Lancashire Thunder point of view. Let's see what they can muster up with the balls. You mentioned Kate Cross to start things up. The first over of the run chase with Lee playing a forward defensive back to Cross, the Thunder captain, and there is no run. There is one slip in place. Georgie Boyce at first slip is third man. There is a deep square leg. There's a mid wicket, a mid on, a mid off, extra cover, and fielder just backward of point. All creeping in now. Cross bowls. Forward goes Lee in defence, and just pushing out into the offside. And there's no run. A couple of dot balls to start the reply.
Hugely experienced Kate Cross against a very destructive batter in Liz Lee. So the Thunder would like to see Liz Lee making her way back to the pavilion very early in this run chase.
It's Cross, right arm over the wicket to Liz Lee. Goes high. Does she get enough on that with mid-off running back towards the boundary? Yes, she does. Clears the run of Harmanpreet Kaur running towards that boundary. And it bounces just this side of it. So 4 runs with a big shot from Liz Lee. The first time, really, absolutely the first time that she's opened up her arms there. Went high back over the bowler's head. 1 bounce, 4 runs to get the Stars up and running.
That's what she's all about, Liz Lee. 3 length deliveries. First 2, very respectful. Third one, bang. Straight down the ground, 1 bounce, 4.
It's the comeback from Cross. What will it be? Moves in and bowls to Lee. It's a good delivery, just moves away. Brings her forward. Just a fraction of movement away from Liz Lee. Gathered by Ellie Threlkel, the keeper. And there's no run. Good comeback ball from Kate Cross.
Great ball. Bit quicker that one, I think. And just lifted a touch more on Liz Lee.
4 without loss, chasing that target of 121 to win the game. Kate Cross for the Thunder, moving in, bowling to Liz Lee, who's playing forward again. Good stride down the pitch and just pushes back to Kate Cross off her own bowling. And there is no run. 4 without loss here on BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Radio Manchester, BBC London via the BBC Sport website and app, and you can listen to the commentary and watch all the action via the Surrey website. Everything's all plugged in, and it's a very complicated setup, isn't it? I mean, there's wires everywhere.
Adam, who sets it up, genius.
Absolutely. Cross ball, swing and a miss from Liz Lee, and taken by the keeper. And that's the end of the first over. 4 runs off it, that big hit back over the head of Kate Cross, and then either side of that, some very sharp deliveries from the England international. 4 without loss after 1.
The other thing, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, but in the room to our right-hand side, Scott Reed, and I know you like these sorts of things, so that's why I'm mentioning it here on the commentary, is a gentleman who won the chase.
Outstanding.
Yes, I know. I'm not going to say who or when or where or how much, but to your right is a gentleman who was on the chase with Bradley Walsh and won. Emma Lamb it will be from the pavilion end.
Superb.
Liz Lee with a boundary. Bryony Smith getting ready for her first delivery. So 121 the target, 4 without loss after the first over from Kate Cross. Sun's trying to come out again here in Guildford. So Cross round the wicket with her off breaks and driving is Bryony Smith out there towards extra cover, and there's no run. But Lamb with valuable runs. Now looking for early wickets as well. 1 for 15. And the opening game of the competition is this one, Bryony Smith. Nicely played. Just jumps onto the back foot and then punches it through the covers, finds the gap and away for 4. So a couple of early boundaries for the Surrey Stars. Punch of gloves between Lizelle Lee and Bryony Smith. Very exciting opening pair, these two. 8 without loss in the second over, the Surrey Stars.
Lovely shot that, wasn't it?
Very talented young player, Bryony Smith. As round the wicket goes Lamb, looking to cut. This time is Bryony Smith. That goes past her outside edge. Bit of extra bounce on that one. A few people wandering in front of the sight screens down there at the railway end, but those sight screens are so far away. As Lamb round the wicket once more, and here goes Bryony Smith. Hasn't got a lot of this. This goes high in the air and she'll go. Caught by Harpreet Kaur. Who else? And Bryony Smith looking for a big shot down the ground and straight up in the air. And Harpreet Kaur, very safe catch. And second over, Surrey Stars are 8 for 1.
Was a good catch again. Yeah, running a lot of ground to make up, probably 10 or 15 yards. Ball dropping high, but nicely in position. Takes a good catch. Bit of pressure on that as well, because Lancashire Thunder will feel they need a good power play here. They'll be wanting to take a couple of wickets just to try and check things, and they know if the Surrey Stars get off to a good start, but if it's a relatively successful or pretty calm power play, that's absolutely fine for the Surrey Stars, because they have wickets in hand. They'll back themselves to chase these runs down. So Lancashire Thunder know that wickets in these first 6 overs could potentially be absolutely crucial. So a good catch by Harpreet Kaur.
She's having a good game.
She is.
Talk about leading by example. Wow. Sarah Taylor will be at the non-strikers end, because they did cross. He was up there a long, long time. We've seen a couple of cracking catches today. Leash Cranston took a superb catch during the Lancashire Thunder innings, running back from short third man.
Yeah, the fielding's been good in the main, hasn't it?
Very good.
Catching's
Very good.
Has been good.
So Lamb round the wicket to Lizelle Lee and just opens the face. Pops this one down towards third man. They'll pick up a single. One more to the total. That brings Sarah Taylor, who made 43, top scored for the Surrey Stars against the Yorkshire Diamonds on Tuesday night at Headingley. Looked in very good form. And 9 for 1. The Surrey Stars in the second over. Woodbridge Road getting a bit busier now. A few more cars and trucks making their way up the Woodbridge Road as Lamb is round the wicket to Taylor, and the right-handed Taylor drives at her first ball straight back up the pitch, and Lamb does the fielding off her own bowling. Good first over from Emma Lamb. Picks up the wicket of Bryony Smith. 5 off it, and Surrey Stars 9 for 1 in pursuit of 121 after 2 overs.
Must be a warm day. There's a chap there filling his car up with fuel, shirtless. Just a turquoise shorts. He's stood in the car in the,
Is that allowed?
in the garage, filling his tank up with petrol or diesel.
Is that not? That is against the rules and regs of the garage, surely.
All you can see is the tattoo on his back.
Not sure I'd want to be filling up
I'm
next
not
to
sure
that.
how I feel about that. 'Cause then you've got to walk in and pay, haven't you, when you're basically half naked.
Have a bit of respect for other car fillers.
Kate Cross in and balls, and Lisa Lee just dabbing into the offside, thinking of a single, but sent back because Talia McGrath's quickly up from extra cover to field, no run.
The other thing, anybody who ever comes to Guildford and decides to fill their car up in the petrol station opposite the ground in the Woodbridge Road, if you get it wrong, it's the most complicated exit system of any garage I've ever been into.
One slip in place, cross for the Thunder, balls. Lisa Lee goes back, muscles the ball over the top of square leg and out towards the boundary. Sophia Dunkley at square leg, leaping up, but fizzed over her head and out towards the boundary for 4 more runs. 13 for 1, and Lisa Lee is unbeaten on 9.
Yeah, good shot. Just back of her length and just stood there and pummeled it over mid-wicket for 4. And that's literally stood there and strong-armed it over mid-wicket. But I got stuck in there for about 25 minutes.
Really?
One year, trying to get out.
Just one way in and one way out?
Yes.
Cross balls down the leg side, taken by Threlkeld, the keeper. The umpire spins round and signals a wide. Score moves on to 14 for 1. I can't understand why it's so complicated,
Because
Churchy.
it's one way in,
Yeah.
and then the one exit
Yeah.
on the other side, as we look to the right-hand side, also
Yeah.
goes onto another road.
Ah.
Do you see what I mean?
I
So
can
if you
see
go
that,
right,
yeah.
you could be going onto a road with traffic going. Oh,
I'm
I've
with
been
you.
stuck there for
Yeah,
hours.
I can see that problem now.
Yeah.
The shirtless fella's got back to his car. Oh, I think he forgot his wallet. Here's cross in and balls. It's banged in a little short and wide, and that's an attempt to run it down towards third man. It's a super stop by Georgie Boyce at slip, leaping down to the right-hand side to field the ball. So it remains on 14 for 1. He went in to pay.
Well, you know where his
Come
wallet
back.
is, and it serves him right in
Exactly.
the top pocket of his
Yeah.
shirt.
He's
So
got,
that'll serve him right for not wearing his shirt.
So he stood at the counter,
Yeah, it's no need.
half naked with no way of paying. Cross to Lee, and that's steered off the face of the bat down to third man. Alex Hartley fields for the Thunder. Lee gets a single. Score moves on to 15 for 1.
But yes, if you ever go into that garage, anybody
Yeah.
listening in who may be coming down from Manchester to Guildford, just prepare yourselves, because it's a very complicated exit system.
I find that with quite a lot of service stations. I struggle to find my way out of them.
Oh yes, I did that the other day, and I can't remember which one it was, but I ended up in the HGV area.
I think that's
going
easily
round
done.
in circles.
I think that is, yes.
Yeah.
Cross is in and balls to Taylor. Just worked a little uppishly off her hip. Beats the dive of short fine leg. That is just a wonderful bit of placement actually by Taylor. Just a little dabble off the hip. And Alex Hartley is at short fine leg. Tried to stop the ball, but as soon as that got underneath her body, the timing was so beautiful from Taylor. It just trickled down towards the rope for 4 runs. 19 for 1 now.
Yes, elegant shot from Sarah Taylor. As I say, she's in good form. She looked in terrific nick at Headingley on Tuesday night. Took me hours to get out of Leeds as well. They'd shut most of the one-way system.
Yeah, that can be a bit of a nightmare. Cross bowling to Taylor. Whipped. Plenty of bottom hand through the onside. Stopped at mid-wicket. No run. End of the third over of the Surrey Stars reply. They've been set 121 to win the game. They've got 19 of those runs so far, so 102 more runs required, with Lizelle Lee unbeaten on 10 and Sarah Taylor on 4.
Yeah, 10 off that over, without doing anything too spectacular. Lizelle Lee and Sarah Taylor round in circles for hours. It genuinely took me about 45 minutes to get onto the motorway out of Leeds, because they'd shut the junction I needed, and then at one point I was heading towards Castleford. I was thinking, it's nice parts of Castleford, but not at 11 o'clock at night.
It's not what you want, is it?
No.
Not what you want.
Finally, once I'd managed to get out of Leeds, I was on my way, which is good. Sophie Eccleston is into the attack. Not that it's good to leave Leeds, but
No.
I needed to.
Yes.
As from the pavilion end, Sophie Eccleston to bowl our 4th over.
Well, I'm guessing you wouldn't have been to Leeds for a bit, because
Well, it's been
it's Scarborough, hasn't it?
It has been Scarborough for the last couple of years. Magnificent new stand, isn't it?
It is good.
Oh, it's
yeah, it does look
fantastic.
good.
So, Eccleston is left arm round the wicket to Lizelle Lee, and she's paddle sweeping straight away down towards fine leg. This won't get to the rope, but she'll pick up a couple here. Well, Lizelle Lee moves on to 12 and 21 for 1. But yes, the Emerald stand is absolutely magnificent. And I was saying that I sort of broke into the rugby league ground at a quiet moment as
Did
well.
you?
Yes, and had a
That's a
little
bit
sit
naughty.
there. Yes, but it looks fantastic. As Eccleston is in to Lizelle Lee. He's looking for the big one down the ground. Bit of turn there, past the outside edge.
Yeah, there is some turn there for Sophie Eccleston, and she's tall as well, so she could get a little bit of bounce and turn. One of the reasons why she's such a big threat, such a good, skillful bowler.
As forward goes Lizelle Lee, pushes this one straight back up the pitch, and there is no run. Lizelle Lee, it just wants to try and get after Eccleston, you can tell, can't you? Just the way she sets herself up. As here she goes down the pitch, and hasn't got a huge amount on this, but has got enough on it to get it down towards the long on boundary rope and away for 4 runs. Kept everybody interested. Georgie Boyce there, very interested in that, but runs away for 4. Knew it was coming really from Lizelle Lee. You could see she's on to 16, 25 for 1.
In a way, I don't think Sophie Eccleston will mind that. She'll quite like it if the batter's going to come at her. She'll enjoy the challenge.
Eccleston left arm round the wicket. Liz Lee opens the face, dabs it down to short third man, and Hartley does the fielding, and they'll pick up a single. One more to the total, and one more to Liz Lee. So after the brute force down the ground, a deft touch there from Liz Lee for the single. On to 17, 26 for 1. Sarah Taylor waiting again. Now, Alex Hartley's very deep there at slip. I think she wasn't quite sure where she was going for a second, so she's actually going to find leg on the edge of the circle because she was sort of standing at first slip on the edge of the circle. Sophie Eccleston round the wicket she comes to Taylor, and Taylor turns leg side. Won't get a run out there towards square leg. End of the over, so tidy over from Sophie Eccleston, but Surrey still managing the Surrey Stars to find 7 runs off it, and 4 gone. 26 for 1. The Surrey Stars in pursuit of 121.
Here on the BBC, via the BBC Sport website and app, with BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Radio Manchester, BBC London as well, and on the Surrey website, where you can watch the game and listen to the commentary. Is that available for the majority of Surrey Stars games?
It is, yes, for the home games. The stream, as long as it's with the old satellite TV as well.
Yes,
and there'll be a couple of clashes, but yes, for the majority of home games for the Surrey Stars, they will be streamed.
Superb.
I'll tell you who we were fortunate enough to see was. Have you seen Helen Fenby bowl?
No.
Unbelievable action. Bowl beautifully, leg spin, but yes, no front arm. And look straight down at her feet as she bowls it. So she's not even looking at the batter. And we were saying, you don't want to compare the two games because they're games in their own right. But do you remember Paul Adams?
Yes, I do.
South Africa,
yeah,
they called him a frog in a blender.
That's right.
Exactly the same, but right arm.
It's Talia McGrath, who's in from the railway end and bowling, and that's a little pivot onto the back foot, and an excellent shot out towards deep backward square leg. The two umpires have a little look at each other, and the outcome is a 4. Just kind of onto the back foot, a little jab off the hip, whipped out towards deep backward square leg. A ridiculous shot, really, for 4 runs. And score moves on 2. I think it'll tick up to 30, I think.
Yeah, she absolutely nailed that.
She just
kids on the boundary, just got to keep their eyes open for this at the moment.
McGrath in, a little short and wide this time, so Liz Lee is able to dab it down towards the third man boundary, where it's hooked up by the fingertips of Eve Jones. And then the relay throw from Emma Lamb, and Lee comes back for 2, moves up to 23, 32 for 1.
It's looking very dangerous at the moment. Very dangerous at the moment. Liz Lee.
She's looking out towards that leg side boundary as well.
Yeah, I'm glad they're saying this now. Umpire Mark Neal's just telling the children to go back from the rope with Liz Lee on strike, because they are a little close there. They're sitting on the rope, and she hits it so hard. And if that skips off the turf with the kids sat there on the rope, then that might not be great.
McGrath bowls to Lee. It's a wide taken by a skipping Ellie Threlcold. Run on the board, and it's the score on to 33 for 1. Yeah, and obviously those kids are having a bit of a natter, and they're watching the cricket, but there's other distractions as well. And say that ball comes hurtling at them, and they're not keeping an eye on it. That could be pretty horrible. So they've shuffled back a yard or 2. There's Lee off the back foot, just a little push and go into the offside. Emma Lamb comes up from point to field, but not before they cross. Messes Lee and Taylor. The score now moves on to 34 for 1 in the 5th, chasing 121 to win.
Yeah, and nicely played again. Sort of the powerful shot off her hip for 4 from Liz Lee, and then a nice touch into the offside for the single. Just rotates the strike.
Taylor back on strike. McGrath bowls wide, taken by the keeper, Threlcold, who's standing up right behind the stumps. McGrath pushing one wide of off stump. Taylor not tempted to try and reach and stretch for it. There is a short third man in place. Should come off a little edge, and there's a point as well. Quite tight in, plus a shortish extra cover. That's the captain there, Kate Cross. McGrath into Taylor. Leans into it and drops it into the offside. But no run again. Lamb quickly up from point to field. Another dot ball, 34 for 1 in the 5th.
Quite glad I brought my cardigan, because wind's picking up a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, this is all I've got. I don't have any extra Additional.
Any layers?
Well, I looked at the temperature before I set off from Manchester. I thought I'm going to be okay. Taylor goes down on one knee. Plenty of height. Mid-wicket's underneath it. Oh, the catch has been put down at mid-wicket. Taylor had completely given up. She knew she was a goner, really. But off that back foot, it went high up towards, I feel just at the very edge of the 30-metre circle at mid-wicket. Got hands on that, but into and out of the hands. And an opportunity has gone. And Taylor with a lifeline for Surrey Stars. It's the end of the 5th over as well. 35 for 1, so Taylor actually moves up to 5. And Georgie Boyce in position, hands on it, and into and out of her grasp.
Yeah, it should have been taken, but it was. I think it was one of those that was spinning as it came off the top edge. So it got the hands to it and it just popped out. So Eccleston it is, coming round the wicket to start the 6th over. Final one of the power play to Taylor, but Taylor had given it up.
She had.
She was on her way back to the pavilion. And there's no run to this first ball of the over. Pushed out towards extra cover. And I think it was one of those that was just spinning off the top edge. Eccleston, left arm round the wicket. Taylor goes outside her off stump. Very well played. And sweeps it away behind square for 4. Jumped outside that off stump and then swept it off her stumps behind square. And that whistles away to the boundary rope. And away for 4 runs. Nicely played by Sarah Taylor. On to 9 goes Sarah Taylor. I'm going to leave you at the end of this over.
No problem.
If that's all right with you, Mr. Reid. I've also got a hot footed to Lords, you see. I sort of slightly double booked myself today. And my commentaries are usually pretty bad, even when I'm at the game. But as this one is driven by Taylor out towards the sweeper on the cover boundary rope, they'll pick up a single, 1 more to the total. And 1 more to Sarah Taylor. She moves on to 10, 40 for 1. But do not fret, everybody. Scott Reed's staying here and he'll be joined by a couple of experts to take you through to the conclusion of this. 40 for 1. Lizelle Lee drives Eccleston up towards mid-off. And there is no runners. Ampreet Kaur does the fielding on the edge of the circle at mid-off. Lizelle Lee stands with that bat raised again. Here she goes down the ground. A lot of bottom hand in this, but over and away and soars away for 6 over long off. And Lizelle Lee again, the intent's always there with Lizelle Lee. And that one soars away for 6. Lizelle Lee moves on to 30, 46 for 1.
I mentioned it almost from the kind of first over in that Lizelle Lee looked like she got the bit between her teeth. And this is a terrific inning so far.
Waits again for Sophie Eccleston to come left arm round the wicket to her, and Lizelle Lee digs her out into the leg side. That rolls up towards mid-on. There is no run. End of the over, 6 gone. The power play done and dusted. 46 for 1. Surrey Stars chasing 121 to beat the Lancashire Thunder here at Guildford. Scott Reid to pick up commentary, and I'm going to run to the station.
Thank you, Mark. Mark Church, who's heading across back into London to Lords for the T20 Blast fixture, the men's fixture between Middlesex and Surrey. So that will be available for you to listen a little bit later on tonight via the BBC Sport website and app. It's a double shift for Mark Church. We're making him work for his money, Bobby Cross.
Yeah, I feel like I've made it now, stepping into Mark Church's shoes.
Exactly. It's an honour.
At Surrey.
Absolute honour it is for you. I hope you don't let him down. Hope you don't let me down.
I'll do my best, Scott.
Thank you for joining us, Bobby Cross, part of the Lancashire Thunder setup, and watching could be a really intriguing game. And just in terms of the halfway stage at 120 on the board, what was the general feeling downstairs?
Yeah, we felt that it was a tricky pitch to score on, and obviously reliant on a really good innings, a really well-paced innings from Harmanpreet, who did exactly what was needed, really. She was losing wickets around her, but she took her innings deep, the full 20 overs, and gave herself a chance to go at the end. And we felt that 120 was, if we bowl well, was going to be a tricky score to chase.
Here comes Alex Hartley into the attack for the first time. Bowls to Sarah Taylor and just nudges the ball off the pads out through the onside. Kate Cross is at mid-wicket to field, and they get through for a single. 47 for 1 brings Lizelle Lee on strike, who's unbeaten on 30 and hitting the ball well. Lancashire Thunder absolutely desperate to end this partnership and ideally get rid of Lisa Lee if possible. This is a little top edge off a sweep, which is over short fine leg and down towards the boundary. There's 2 or 3 spectators. Young lads are there to field the ball. And it's 4 more runs for Lizelle Lee, who looks in fine touch. She moves to 34. That brings up the 50 as well for the Surrey Stars. 51 for 1. We're in the 7th over. The power play is done and dusted, so there's the opportunity to position extra fielders out on the boundary edge as Hartley twirls in and bowls to Lisa Lee, who's dabbing down to short third man underneath the body of Emma Lamb. And Lisa Lee comes back for 2. Score moves up to 53 for 1. There's currently a long off, a long on. There's a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg. 3 inside the ring on the offside, plus a kind of wide mid-on, almost mid-wicket really, and a short fine leg. 53 for 1. Lee waits for Hartley. He's twirling in and bowling down on one knee, going big, going high out through the onside and going for 6 as well in towards that row of temporary seating square of the wicket. Spectators disappear into all parts as that ball was heading in their direction. That's a big hit for 6. She moves to 42, 59 for 1.
Such a dangerous player, isn't she, Lizelle Lee? We really needed to get her early, I think, but not give her this start.
And she is moving through the gears pretty successfully here. 42 not out now. Just retakes a guard. Hartley into her. She plays forward, just dabs the ball back down the pitch. Picked up by Hartley off her own bowling, slowly creeping forward, Alex Hartley, and then with her sunglasses on, bends down and picks the ball up. Dressed back to a mark. Lee again looking towards that shorter leg side boundary where 2 fielders with their heels almost touching the rope there. Hartley comes around the wicket, bowls and step right across the stumps and kind of paddle down towards short fine leg, and it's picked up. That is the end of the over. 7 gone, 59 for 1. Lisa Lee on 42 and Sarah Taylor unbeaten on 11.
Yeah, I think the girls are going to have to really work hard to find a way to break this partnership quite soon. So obviously halfway in the chase here, 59-60. So really need to get a breakthrough. And although it doesn't get any easier because Nat Silver will be coming in at 4, but I think if we could get one more, and it was very similar in the first game at which you covered, I think. It's got Liverpool. We got a big wicket early on in Susie Bates, and then we just couldn't get that next wicket to get Beaumont or Wyatt out, and ultimately we paid the price for that. So it'll be tough for the girls. They're going to have to try and find one here.
They are up against it. The Surrey Stars, the defending champions, in a position of real strength. As we see Sophia Dunkley into the attack from the pavilion end. Right arm over the wicket and bowls, and forward goes Taylor, drives through the covers for a single. And Lamb comes up from the deep to field. Taylor moves to 12, 60 for 1 as we start the 8th over here at Guildford Cricket Club on the BBC Sport website and app with BBC London, BBC Lancashire and BBC Radio Manchester as well. 60 for 1. Dunkley spinning the ball from one hand to the other. The target is 121 to win. Tossed up and that's swatted out through the onside, but with a degree of frustration by Lizelle Lee. She missed out there, and you can clearly tell that in her body language. Not a very good poker player. She's given the clear signs that was an opportunity which she did not make the most of. In the end, just a single to the board. 61 for 1. Taylor back on strike, tossed up once more, swept out towards deep backward square leg, and Taylor goes through for a single, moves up to 13, and a score on to 62 for 1. Brings Lee back on strike. There are boundary riders at long off, a deep extra cover, and a deep square leg. This is just dabbed very cutely down towards short third man for a single. Lizelle Lee moves to 44. The score moves on to 63 for 1. Brings Taylor back on strike. Where is this breakthrough going to come for the Thunder? Much needed. One chance put down. Taylor dropped by Georgie Boyce a few overs ago. This is a flatter, little quicker delivery, which is dragged into mid-wicket. But for no run. Taylor remains on 13. Sophia Dunkley against a former side. Desperate to try and make an impact with the ball. Into Taylor. It's just pushed out into the covers up to Eve Jones. And that is the end of the 8th over. 63 for 1, so 58 are required. Bags of time for the Stars to get them. And a partnership which is well settled between Lizelle Lee and Sarah Taylor.
Yeah, I think the difficulty the girls are having is we haven't stopped the runs scored. You know, we've not built any dot balls up. It was interesting when Sarah gave the chance, it was on the back of 2 or 3 dot balls. And even in that last over, then the Lizelle Lee and Sarah Taylor, it looks fairly easy to rotate the strike. So our girls are going to have to find a way of building up some dots and trying to put a little bit of pressure on that way.
Actually, which is what the Stars did really well with the ball.
Yeah, they're very well disciplined, which you'd expect from them. They're a well-drilled team, and obviously had success last year, and they look like they've started that way again.
It was an outstanding knock at the end from Harman Prekker to get something on the board for the Thunder. Started the 9th over, 63 for 1. Lizelle Lee just going back and again playing it late, just steering it off the face of the bat down towards short third man and shuffling through for a single. Score moves up to 64 for 1. Emma Lamb bowling from the railway end. She's positioned to scouts at deep mid-wicket and deep backward square leg. Taylor on strike. Lamb bowls to Taylor. Rocks back, drags the ball through the onside. And she managed to find the gap between those two on the leg side boundary. Sophia Dunkley probably the nearest to it from deep mid-wicket, but a good-looking shot for 4 off the back foot by Taylor. She moves to 17. And the score to 68 for 1. And Kate Cross and Emma Lamb have a brief conversation. The ball is back in the hand of the Lancashire spinner into Taylor. Again, slog sweeping through the onside. Can Dunkley come round and field and cut that off? Well, she actually got to it. It's a very valiant effort, really, from Sophia Dunkley, spinning to her right-hand side, got hands on that, but I think the pace of the ball, and she was flirting with the boundary rope in the end, it just spun back and went over the boundary. But a valiant effort from Dunkley, but she's hugging that boundary rope. Not a great deal of room to manoeuvre, so the score moves on to 72 for 1. This time Taylor trying to reverse swat it down towards the boundary, but with little timing, no real connection. Dot ball. Taylor 21 not out, 72 for 1 in the 9th. 49 more runs required. Lamb spins the ball from one hand to the other. Keeper crouches down, comes around the wicket and bowls, and it's off the back foot again, muscled out through the onside. Dunkley in position nice and early this time to cut the ball off. Taylor moves up to 22. And the score on to 73 for 1 brings Lizelle Lee back on strike.
It'd be interesting here, Scott, how Kate uses her, Sophie Eccleston's 2 remaining overs and her own remaining overs.
Comes Lamb, bowls to Lee, down on one knee, clears Hartley, or to the left of Hartley, short fine leg, and down towards the boundary. And it's worth a run. She's pinched the strike as well. It's the end of the 9th at 74 for 1. Lizelle Lee on 46 and Sarah Taylor on 22. Yes, on Tuesday at Egbert, holding Sophie Eccleston right the way to the very final over of the game. And anyway, it was backed up with the way she bowled. She bowled beautifully, but is it a bit of a balancing act because they need a wicket here, the Thunder? Do you turn for 1 over from Sophie Eccleston now, try and prize one out?
Yeah, I think it was the right call at Liverpool to hold her back for that onslaught that they were going to have at the end, and we did rein that in. But I think when you're trying to defend a total, the one thing you desperately don't want to do is leave your best bowlers overs, until too late. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see Sophie back on trying to break this partnership quite soon. But still got Dunkley on at the moment.
Yeah, it's a tough balancing act, isn't it, for the captain? Because you got to go with your gut feeling as to when to reintroduce your strike bowlers. Well, Kate has 2 overs left herself. Sophie Eccleston has 2 overs as well. Dunkley will bowl her second. Her first went for just 4. Lizelle Lee on strike, looking rather menacing actually, unbeaten on 46, looking to become the second player to reach a half century in this game. Dunkley in, bowls, it's short and it's carved away for 4. Onto it in a flash. It wasn't a great delivery in truth, but the weight was put away so emphatically to bring up an excellent 50. That's a really good effort from Lizelle Lee. Exactly 50 not out, and onto that short ball, quick of a flash, and moves to a terrific half century, 78 for 1. It's a great knock by Lizelle Lee. 78 for 1 as we start the 10th, almost at the halfway point of this run chase of the innings. It's at Dunkley Bowls, and it's a wide delivery which is down the offside, and Lizelle Lee comes back for 2 plus the wide as well. Well, a bit of pressure being put back on Sophia Dunkley with that 4 which was hit off the first delivery. Pressure goes straight back onto the bowler.
It was a tough day for her as well, I think, isn't it, coming back to your former club so soon as well, and she's had 3 good years here.
Balls over the wicket to Lizelle Lee. It's better delivery, that, bringing her forward in defence and dabbing it back down the pitch. And no runs, slowly scoops the ball up, does Sophia Dunkley, bowling from the pavilion end. And the sun shining. 40 runs away. And the Surrey Stars from back-to-back victories to start their campaign. This is worked down towards third man by Lizelle Lee. Georgie Boyce does well, gets across the ground quickly, and Lee wants 2 and comes back for a sharp second, actually. Good running, as well as the powerful hitting and the good timing. She run well there to move up to 52 not out. The score now to 83 for 1. Tough second over for Dunkley. Can she get out of this damage free at sea? In and bowling a ball that Lizelle Lee attempts to cut down towards the third man boundary, but a play and a miss and taken by Ellie Threlcold. Dot ball to the relief of the Thunder and to Dunkley, who's in again to Lee, and she goes back and she plays and misses and taken by the keeper. Now, can she get out the over? These are 2 decent deliveries from Dunkley. Can she end this over after an expensive start? Let's see, 83 for 1. Dunkley spinning the ball from one hand to the other. Lizelle Lee waits, in and bowls. And just goes back and guides the ball very cleverly down to a wide third man. And Boyce fielding. And Lizelle Lee comes back for 2. That does complete the 10th over. So the halfway stage of the innings. 10 overs gone. Score has moved on to 87 for 1. I think. No, 85 for 1. The scoreboard beat me to it on this occasion. And at the halfway stage with 36 more runs required for the Surrey Stars to win from this position, but just no sign yet of a breakthrough. That chance put down to dismiss Taylor a few overs ago could then be a pretty costly one, because these two have been terrific so far.
Yeah, they've played very well. They really have. And as we thought, Kate bringing herself back on now, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go Eccleston at the other end and really taking a wicket now. It still might be too late, but it might just cause a little ripple. So
Taylor's unbeaten on 22. It could, as you say, be perhaps a last throw of the dice here. Can the captain conjure up? Marshalling her troops at the moment, making sure the field's in the right position. Pushing fine leg back to the boundary. That's a mate. Alex Hartley going down towards the boundary below us. There's a third man. There's also a deep mid-wicket and deep point as well. So 2 guarding the boundaries on the on and off side. And then third man, fine leg. 85 for 1. It takes something special from this position for the Thunder, but you never know. Here's Kate Cross in and bowls and swatted away by Taylor out through square leg. And Dunkley comes up to field. Taylor moves to 23. Score moves on to 86 for 1. Bobby Cross is alongside me here on the roof of the pavilion at Guildford.
I was just going to say, Scott, you come here, or have been here more often than I have. I was here in the first year of the Super League before the renovation work, and what a fantastic venue it is these days, especially for women's cricket. It just has a really good feel about it, particularly boundary size wise. It just seems to fit really well.
This cross ball into Lizelle Lee, just leans into it and with a slightly open face of the bat, just guides the ball down back with a square on the offside for a single. 54 not out, correction, 55 not out, 87 for 1. Yeah, it must be great for the girls to play at some of the bigger venues. The Surrey Stars are at Headingley, for example, on Tuesday. Lancashire Thunder will play at Old Trafford. Surrey will play at the Oval as well throughout the competition. It's cross balls to Taylor. Just tickled off the pads down to short fine leg for a single, 88 for 1. But also as well, I agree, I think I've done a lot of these KSL games now, and I think the outgrounds, I think they suit the competition for me.
Yeah, I
quite
think
nice.
so. I think it is a real balancing act. We forget sometimes that it is such a real big thrill for the girls to play on some of the the international grounds, the test match grounds, and but they are such big venues. It's difficult to create an atmosphere there.
Cross balling to Lee, trying to just dab it down to third man again, playing a miss taken by the keeper, no run.
So yeah, places like Guildford. I mean, obviously we take our games out to Liverpool. We're playing at Blackpool, and for the first time we're playing at Chester Boughton Hall this year. So we're taking a game into Cheshire, and I'm really excited to go there. I think that'll be very similar to here, with a real good sort of intimate feel about the game.
88 for 1 in the 11th, target of 121 to win. Cross in bowls. Oh, Lizelle Lee hits an outrageous shot for 6 over extra cover. Goodness me, you're one or two of the spectators leaping up trying to take the catch. That's a fantastic shot from Lizelle Lee over extra cover for 6. Takes her total to 61 and the Stars to 94 for 1. What a shot.
Yeah, she is. When she gets into full flow, she really is a terrific player, isn't she? You've got to get her out early. I think in the first game she did fall cheaply, and unfortunately for us, we haven't been able to do that today.
Cross in to Lee. That's cut down to wide third man. That'll be 4 more, so a 6 over extra cover. A cut down to third man for 4 more. So 10 off those final 2 deliveries. And the Stars know that that they're almost there. They're 98 for 1 after 11. So just the 23 more runs required for the defending champions, who look a terrific team. They're a very, very strong outfit, and they won the competition last year. And from this position, they are well set to make it 2 from 2, having beat the Yorkshire Vikings on Tuesday evening at Headingley. Still early stage of the competition, and that's a crucial point to make. I mean, it's gone from 5 to 10. Last season it was 10 group matches, which I think works well and means that even if you lose a couple early on, you've got time to make up.
Yeah, the first couple of years when we just had the 5 games, if you lost the first 1 or 2, you really felt like you were already out of it. Where this year, even after what looks like it's going to be 2 defeats for our girls, there is still real chance to put a run together and bounce back from that. And T20 cricket is a bit like that, isn't it? You can get on a roll. One way or the other, losing or winning, but hopefully if our girls can turn it around.
It's Sophie Eccleston into Taylor. He goes back and slices the ball through the offside for a single, moves to 24, scored to 99 for 1. Last season 10 games for the first time, expanding from 5, and 5 victories for Lancashire Thunder came well within touching distance of reaching finals day. And it was Surrey Stars that got there ahead of the Lancashire Thunder and went on to win the competition, but much improved performance 12 months ago for the Thunder. The 10 group games does make sense for me. It seems a little cutthroat to have just 5. Here's Eccleston in and bowling. This is shuffled into the onside by Lizelle Lee, and that will bring up the 100. Yes, it will. The scoreboard ticks along from 99 to 100. And Lizelle Lee, 66 not out. Taylor back on strike unbeaten on 24. Just 21 more runs needed. Stack of deliveries and plenty of wickets in hand. Taylor goes on the reverse and gets to it as well. Down towards the boundary. That's a great shot. Great hands from Sarah Taylor to have kind of reverse paddle that down towards the boundary for 4. Moves to 28 not out. And the score to 104 for 1. These two are 2 fine players, Bobby.
Very good, yes, as you say. But even if you've got one of these out, Nat Siver to come in, one of England's premier players at the moment, it is a strong top 4 or 5 that they've got here.
Eccleston clutching the ball tightly and in and bowling to Taylor. Just comes off the outer edge of the bat, dropping down to Alex Hartley inside the ring at short fine leg, and there is no run. 104 for 1. Taylor on 28. There's Eccleston into her. Just dabbed into the offside. It's a dot ball. Picked up just backward of point. And there's no run. Been a busy summer for Sophie Eccleston. We represented her country throughout the course of that Ashes campaign. And bowling, and it's a beautiful shot back over her head. That'll be 4 more. 1 bounce, and then it's over the rope for 4. Lovely straight lofted drive back from where it came from. It's a fabulous knock by Taylor. Some beautiful shots in there, and that's 4 more of them. She moves to 32, 108 for 1. 13 more runs required to win the game. We've seen some lovely batting today. Harmen Pritkur for the Thunder with some absolutely glorious shots. And these two have put together a very fine partnership as well.
Yeah, they've played well, and it's just such a shame, isn't it, with Sarah? You know, clearly she has her health issues, which, as an England fan, you would just love to see her play like this in an England shirt, and you know, be in that place to be able to do that. And obviously, missing the back end of the Ashes and clearly not feeling that she was able to contribute to that must have been a real difficult decision for her. But it's so good, even as a Lancashire member of staff and supporter, to see her out there and playing shots like that. She really is a class act when she's playing well.
She is. Well, pleasure to watch, whether it's with the bat or with the gloves, actually. She
Yes.
makes it look so easy. On the brink of getting her side over the line. 13 required from this position. So Stars are eyeing up 2 wins from 2. Here's Hartley in. There's Lee's eyeing it up in this over, I think, down on one knee, trying to sweep it out through the onside. A huge swing and a miss from Lee, taken by the keeper. And there is no runs for a dot ball to start the over. Hartley twirling away in and bowling to Lee, who waits for it. And just dabbing into the onside. It comes off a little leading edge and loops out into the offside. Hartley fields off her own bowling. No run. 108 for 1. 13 more needed. Lancashire Thunder have got a long off, a long on, a deep mid-wicket, a deep backward square leg. And Alex Hartley from the railway end bowls to Lee, who's gone back and pulls it out through the onside, and he's taken. It's a good catch at deep backward square leg, and Lizelle Lee departs. And the Surrey Stars have lost their second wicket. It's a fabulous innings, but has come to an end. Smart catch by Sune Lees at deep backward square leg. Hartley strikes, but end of a terrific innings of 66 by Lizelle Lee. The Surrey Stars are 108 for 2 in the 13th, require a further 13 runs to win.
Yeah, it was a great innings, wasn't it? And it was a good catch to end it as well, actually. It was diving forward by Sune Lees out there, and it's important for our girls this, although the game has probably comfortably gone away from us. Just if they can chip away with 1 or 2 wickets, and a couple of the bowlers come away with a little bit more belief that they're in the competition. You know, I'm sure it'll be a help for them, but it was a good catch by Sune.
It was, yeah. Just leaning forward, down on one knee. And on the boundary, deep backward square leg, there's a row of, there's a little temporary stand which runs along the side of the outfield there. 3 rows deep, those green seats, and plenty of spectators in them. And there's plenty of kids sat around the edge of the boundary rope, and spectators in white plastic seats.
I think that's almost a bit like one of Bumble's permanent temporary stands, isn't it? As he calls the one at Emirates Old Trafford.
Yeah, permanent temporary stand. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it looks like it's there for the long term, doesn't it? Hartley in bowls to Siver. He's off the back foot, pushed back by Hartley, gathered by Alex Hartley off her own bowling. There's no run.
There's always a little bit of competition as well between the England girls. You know, Alex would love nothing more than to get Nat out here, so, and I'm sure Nat will want to finish the game quickly, so I'm sure there'll be a little bit going on out there still.
A little skip down the pitch there, and Hartley saw her coming and just arrowed it a little straighter. Ball comes off the inside edge, deflects off the pads into the offside. Here's Hartley back in to Siver. She's forward and she's driving into the offside. It's a good one-handed stop by Talia McGrath. That extra cover to her right-hand side, just kind of goalkeeper style, pushing the ball away. And Alex Hartley appreciated the work there by Talia McGrath. It's the end of the over, 109 for 2. So 13 gone, so 7 overs remain, just 12 runs are needed. And Taylor's unbeaten on 32. Nat Siver, new batter alongside her in the middle, unbeaten on 1. You're with Scott Reed and Bobby Cross. Mark Church has left us. He's disappeared up to Lords. He's got another game to do. He's a very popular man.
Yeah, he's in demand.
He's in demand.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Lizelle Lee and Sarah Taylor are going to deny the listeners of Ebony Rainford Brent's final few overs here.
It looks that way. Yeah, Ebony says she'd come for the final 5, but maybe she's, of course, she's Surrey Stars director of cricket. She might well be somewhere in the dugout watching the winning moment. So good to see Ebony before the game started. Here is Sophie Eccleston. Ball in left arm around the wicket. Good delivery, bringing Seva forward. She's beaten through to the keeper. And there is no run. You listen to us via the BBC Sport website and app. BBC London, BBC Radio Lancashire and BBC Radio Manchester. Eccleston in, little skipping forward again by Siver and driven down the ground, picked up by Sophie Eccleston off her own bowling. It's another dot ball. As you say, I want to try and make it as tough as possible as the Stars to win it. Eccleston's got her own figures and to try and guard as well. Stepping back and across and work with an angled bat into the onside by Siver, but keeper comes round, picks up the ball, hands it back to Sophie Eccleston. This tall left arm spinner, who's left arm around the wicket and bowling. Bit of width this time. Oh, that's played so superbly by Taylor. Hopping back into the crease and just a fraction of width. There's not much there, but there's enough for her to go back and carve it through the covers for 4. And that takes the total to 113 for 2. You don't have to get it too wrong, do you? Just a fraction wrong.
Not to players of this quality, no. But, I mean, you're right what you said. Sophie's on the back of a busy summer, but, you know, a summer she's come out with a lot of credit, I think, in a disappointing Ashes campaign for a lot of the girls.
This is firing much quicker from Sophie Eccleston. That's steered down towards the boundary at third man. It's just about kept in. It is. That's some good work out in the deep. I think Alex Hartley there. And they've come back and run 3. Good running, actually. Good fielding, good running. It's 3 more towards that victory target. Down towards the very fine third man boundary. And Alex Hartley went from short, fine leg down there to get to it. So it's a fantastic piece of work by Hartley to scoop the ball up. But just 5 away now from victory for the Stars. Here's Eccleston in and bowling. That's hit back over her head. That'll probably be 4 of them. Out towards the boundary for 4. It's a lovely straight drive. We've seen some beautiful shots today. Really have. And that is up there with the best of them once more. 120 for 2. So just a 1 run away now for the Surrey Stars. Sarah Taylor's unbeaten on 38. And Nat Seva alongside her unbeaten on 8. And it will turn out to be, Bobby Cross, an extremely professional run chase by the Surrey Stars.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, flipping it round to our side, we were talking at the break of, you know, having a good start in the power play, nipping 1 or 2 wickets out potentially, and we did. We got the one early on, Bryony Smith, but you know, not getting that second wicket and being able to put them under any pressure. And at no point have they allowed us really to settle and to bowl dot balls and to build up any pressure. They've scored fluently throughout, either with strong shots for boundaries or running well and rotating the strike. They've played very well.
This will be, you think, the final over of the game. You never know. Could be a maiden, but Hartley will bowl it. Just the 1 required. Dot ball to start with. And Siver just trying to force it through that offside. A well-guarded offside inside the 30-metre circle. Hartley in to Siver, and that's slapped back down the ground. Hartley tries to fall on top of the ball almost, trying to cut it off her own bowling. But Siver striking cleanly for 4. And that is the end of the game. And that target of 121 that Lancashire Thunder set the Surrey Stars, that's been chased down for the loss of just 2 wickets. So an 8-wicket victory for the Stars here at Guildford. And the defending champions, on the evidence of this afternoon, Bobby, look a terrific team again.
They do. They look like they're going to be well up there again. I know Western Storm started well in their first game, and you know, it does look like the same. The usual suspects are playing really good cricket again. So it's going to be tough for our girls now to bounce back. We go straight across to Taunton now. So a short turnaround, playing on Saturday at Taunton against Western Storm, which will be a real big game for us now after the back of 2 losses. But we'll have to turn it around, and I'm sure the girls will be really keen to get up and running and get into this tournament.
Excellent. Thank you, Bobby. Much
Pleasure,
appreciated.
sir.
Thank you for joining us towards the tail end of that of the game here at Guildford. The players just shaking hands down below us. Just 2 matches in, so a lot of games to go. Still 8 matches left for these 2 sides to try and get themselves to finals day. But a pretty emphatic win for the Surrey Stars. They've made it 2 wins from 2. Victory on Tuesday night at Headingley against the Yorkshire Diamonds. Lancashire Thunder starting with defeat against the Southern Vipers at Egbert in Liverpool on Tuesday afternoon. They've travelled down to Guildford today, and they have lost against the Stars by 8 wickets. An 8-wicket victory for Surrey Stars set that 121 to win, despite a fabulous unbeaten half century from Harmanpreet Kaur to get something on the board for the Thunder. Lizelle Lee, in particular, backed up by Sarah Taylor, and a little cameo from Nat Sever, secure an emphatic win here at Guildford Cricket Club. And Ebony Rainford-Brent, the cricket director of Surrey Stars, has come up just to have a look at some of the replays and to make sure she's happy with what she's seen. I'm sure she's delighted. But that's it from Guildford. Thank you to Bobby for joining us, much appreciated. To Mark Cross, who's hot-footed across to London for the men's game between Middlesex and Surrey, and you can hear coverage of that via the BBC Sport website and app a little bit later on tonight. But that's it from Guildford. Congratulations to the Surrey Stars. They've won this game by 8 wickets.